Gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon here in New York City, and it is time for baseball as Kia Motors presents the Wednesday Game of the Week. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the rubber game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees won last night's game 2-1. They don't win that many one-run games, and they also don't win many games when they don't hit home runs. Yesterday, the Yankees did not hit home runs, and they played small ball.
National League brand of baseball. I liked it. Hey, the Yankees were up 1-0 at the fourth inning. That small ball. Steve Pearce gets a leadoff walk. Ricky Romero was very good coming into last night's game. Did not show in his last 11 starts. Pass ball or wild pitch, second base, and productive out by Russell Martin, moving Steve Pearce to third base, and then Granderson with his 75th RBI, scoring Pearce, making it a 2-0 ball game at that time. Eventual Yankees win 2-1.
And I'll tell you what, the pitching was outstanding. Phil Hughes gave them 7 innings of one-run ball. Robertson a scoreless 8th, and then Soriano wanted to get back for blowing the save on Monday, and he did just that yesterday.
He did. There was some redemption. There's no doubt about it. Rafael Soriano, the 3-run homer. Yankees lose the ball game first game against the Blue Jays. Last night, different story. His velocity was up to 95 miles an hour. It was back to that very good slider. That combination of the fastball slider enabled him to get the 34th save for his season, and the Yankees win.
Now, the Yankee bullpen has been used a lot lately, so the Yankees would like to get a long effort out of CC Sabathia. He came up the DL on Friday, pitched very well. Al Leiter will take a closer look at that performance next, right here on Yes. Today's New York Lottery pitching matchups. It is a pair of left-handers. It's Jay Happ for the Blue Jays, 9-10, 4.68. And for the Yankees, CC Sabathia, 13-3 with a 3.44 ERA. That's Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees held their breath when Sabathia pitched on Friday. Coming off the DL, elbow issue. And you know what? They exhale because he did a good job.
He did a very good job, Michael. You know, once in a while, yes, he did have the elbow trouble, 15 days on the disabled list. I thought he was very good. Pitched into the 8th inning. His slider was as good as I've seen it. His fastball touched 94 miles an hour. Boy, the Yankees need him to be the ace that he's been. He's been excellent career-wise here at Yankee Stadium. When he has that tilt on that slider and that plus fastball, awfully tough to hit.
He's the ace of the staff, and they want to win this series. This is the rubber game. Yankees against the Blue Jays. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, right here on Yes. tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Blimpie. Fresh, flavorful, and always delicious. Try one of Blimpie's all-American wraps today. Blimpie, America's sub shop. Boy, the days, they don't get much better than this. Not a cloud in the sky. The sun is shining brightly on the green turf of Yankee Stadium, and we're ready for the rubber game of this three-game set. The Yankees have taken the field, and we'll take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup that's going to face CC Sabathia, and it's presented by Bank of America. Rajai Davis in left field will lead off. Batting second and playing center, Mike McCoy. Edwin Encarnacion, the DH, will hit third. First baseman Adam Lynn cleans up. Yunel Escobar, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing second base, Kelly Johnson. Moises Sierra in right field, he'll bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Jeff Mathis. And Adeni Echevarria is going to play third base and bat ninth.
Well, CC Sabathia, the 32-year-old left-hander, making his 22nd start of the season. Coming off a elbow soreness inflammation. Spent a little time on the DL early in the year. He also had DL time with a strained groin. Very respectable ERA. Let's take a look at the McDonald's pitcher scatter report. Climb aboard, boys. His start was very good in Cleveland. He is a number one. I think he could carry the team, no doubt about it, into postseason. Great run support. How about this? 6 runs in 10 of his 21 starts. Almost 6 runs per 9. And Day at the park. How about this, Mike? 15-2 here at the new Yankee Stadium with a 2.44 ERA and 25 career starts. You think he likes day games in the Bronx?
He's pitched very well at this ballpark. It's amazing. He's pitched very well overall since becoming a Yankee, despite 2 stints on the DL this year. He's 13-3, which is outstanding. So the crowd's still filing into the stadium for a Wednesday matinee. The Blue Jays have lost 6 straight series, so they would love to win this game. But they have to deal with CC Sabathia. Rajai Davis digs in. And the Yankees' big left-hander, Sabathia, is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch, grounded to short. 1 pitch, 1 out. Bald Vinny is with the Ugandan Little League team out there, and they don't know what they're singing. As he goes through roll call out in the bleachers.
How great is that? What a great story, the Uganda Little League team. How exciting.
Now they're getting into it.
Oh, that's great.
Very cool. Here's Mike McCoy. And there's a strike.
What a Yankee Stadium staple. The bleacher creatures loved it as a player. The guys acknowledging the bleacher creatures.
Grounded to Nick Swisher, one of the favorites of the creatures, and he steps on first for the second out. Let's check out the Yankee defense, which is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer, Ichiro, Granderson, and Jones. Left to right in the outfield. Nix, Jeter, Cano, and Swisher left to right in the infield. Stewart behind the plate, and Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. Here's Edwin Encarnacion.
Yankees holding him at bay this series. 0 for 8. What a year that he's had.
Things have to be a little bit tougher for him without Bautista in the lineup. Now pitchers could really concentrate on him. He's the guy they're saying in the meetings, let's not let him beat us.
No doubt, Michael. We saw that in a couple instances where there were some situations of pitching around him and then eventually pitching to Adam Lynn.
Right to Jeter and off of Jeter, and Encarnacion will reach. We'll see how they score that. It was hard hit, but it's a ball that Jeter should field. And it is an E6 on the Yankee captain.
Hard smash to Derek's right. Didn't go very far. That ball was hit hard as a Major League shortstop. Derek, I'm sure, will say after the game he should have had that ball. Just didn't get far enough to his right. Ended up getting handcuffed like it hit the fingers part of his glove. The ball was hit hard.
So here's Adam Lind. And a strike. Lind has good numbers for a lefty against Sabathia. 5 hits and 11 at bats. Grounded foul.
You look for damage when you those 5 for 11, yes, at 455 batting average, no home runs. Put the ball in play. Adam Lind, boy, a couple years ago he was right up there in every category with the best in the game. Ended up having back problems. Spent some time in the minor leagues on DL this year. Actually just got called up for the first game of this series. Had a home run off of David Phelps in the first game. Toronto Blue Jays decimated by injuries this year. You mentioned it, Michael. Jose Bautista lost now for the year, going to have wrist surgery.
That one gets away from Stewart, and Encarnacion ends up on second.
CC's been throwing a lot more sliders this year. Ball just got away from Stewart. Looking down, you point to the direction where the ball is. A little slider, just didn't get the glove down.
Swing and a miss. Lind goes down on strikes. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. Blue Jays nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat against Jay Happ. And today's Yankees starting lineup is presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second and playing first base, Nick Swisher. The second baseman is Robinson Cano. He'll hit third. Right fielder Andrew Jones cleans up. Batting fifth, the center fielder Curtis Granderson. Steve Pearce DHs again. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing third base, Jason Nix. Ichiro Suzuki in left field will bat eighth. And batting ninth and catching, Chris Stewart.
There, J.A. Happ, James Anthony. We have Karsten Charles. We got a couple abbreviations here. First name was traded from Houston. Good numbers. Strikeouts to innings pretty good. Walks, I like the 49 to 134 2/3 innings. Let's take a look at the McDonald's pitcher scout report. High fastball pitcher. A little dangerous here. Daytime Yankee Stadium. We'll see how that plays out. Elevates a lot. Sneaky fast. Fastball, changeup, cutter. He's got good stuff. At times pitches like a front-end starter in Major League Baseball. New life up north of the border. He's getting a chance with the Blue Jays. He was a farmhand with the Phillies, drafted in 2004 to Northwestern, traded to Houston for Roy Oswalt. Here he is up in Toronto.
There's Derek Jeter. Derek leads the majors with 175 hits. And there's a strike. He also has a .373 batting average against left-handed pitchers.
That's locked in. He has been absolutely hot, especially against the lefties, Michael. That's career. I know this year is very high as well, .373.
Count 0-2.
Hap, I said a high fastball pitcher. He's a guy that's tall, 6'5", 6'6", and he's got good plane. Even though the ball is elevated, there's a little extra pop, life to it. Kind of like Phil Hughes, you'll see velocities in that low 90s.
And another base hit for Jeter, and another base hit leading off the first inning. He came into this game at 393 in those situations, so that average goes up. So does the average against lefty pitchers.
Well, after two quality pitches, this is a thank you very much. Middle of the plate, above the belt, just a poor location by Jay Happ. Derek Jeter just absolutely scolding the ball, as hot as anybody in the game right now.
.398 now, leading off the first inning. Nick Swisher digs in. There's a strike. Nick's got a lot of lampblack on his eyes, almost football-like or Bryce Harper in college-like. Count 1-1.
It's got to work. The sunglasses a little. Some guys don't like it, the glare, etc. But yeah, he does have that big triangle eye black. High sky, sunny day.
Count 2-1.
As good a year as Swisher's had since moving to the 2-hole in the lineup, he's just been absolutely on fire.
342 in the 20 games in the number 2 hole. 3-1 now from Happ.
Would say your most situational hitter, but there, as Michael just said, the 342, 6 home runs. Going to get a lot more fastballs. Got situation to move a runner. Pitchers know it. They don't want to get to 3, 4, 5 and get more strikes.
Strike. Yankees have tomorrow off, so a day game today. A nice, solid, almost 2 days off. The next game will be Friday night. And a walk issued to Swisher. Check out the Blue Jays defense. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Davis, McCoy, and Sierra left to right in the outfield. Infield is Echeverria at third, Escobar at short, Johnson at second, and Lind at first. Mathis behind the plate. Jay Happ is on the mound. There's a strike to Robinson Cano. Cano 9 hits in his last 20 at bats, hitting .308 overall.
What a difference, as good as Robinson Cano is, and when he is right, balance hitting the ball left center, right center. 232 versus lefties, the 357 against righties. Left-handed pitchers generally fastball pound in on the hands. Robbie's as quick as anybody, a couple home runs a series. Jay Happ trying to throw that breaking ball down the way.
Count 1-2.
Looking back against Jay Happ in Toronto. Robinson Cano, second deck. See if we get one of those mistakes right here.
Outside. First and second, nobody out. We are in the bottom of the first inning, just underway here at the stadium. The 2-2. Chop to first. Lind is there. He has one play, makes it at first as the runners move up. And now the Yankees second and third with one man out. Andrew Jones coming out.
Yeah, Robbie just rolled over on a curveball. Adam Lind thought about going to second base because of the ball was hit so slow. Get the short out at first base. J.A. Happ covering first, as every pitcher should, with a ground ball right side. Move the runners up. Not what Robbie wanted, but at least it was a productive out.
They'll play the infield back. They'll give the Yankees a 1-0 lead on a ground ball. Jeter's at third. Swisher is at second. Strike. Andrew Jones didn't like that call. Andrew Jones has really been struggling of late. 4 hits and 35 at bats. And his average is at 206. Very close to the line. The Blue Jays play Jones. That one's bounced up there. Good block by Mathis.
It's a little slider at times. That was a, let's say 59-footer. That looked like about 57 feet. Nice job by Jeff Mathis. See Derek Jeter getting a secondary lead. If that ball kicks away, he's maybe had a shot at going home.
Strike. 1-2. On successive games on the schedule, the Yankees have batted cleanup Steve Pearce and now Andrew Jones. So you're starting to see the manifestation of the loss of first A-Rod and now Mark Teixeira, as Joe Girardi has to mix and match. Got a piece.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you talk about the middle of the lineup. You mentioned Alex Rodriguez going down, and then Teixeira with the calf strain. Yeah, even middle of the thump. You're losing 2 major players, that guys with run-producing opportunity. Maybe this would be a chance for Andrew Jones get some better swings.
2-2. The 2-2. Right up the middle of base hit. Jeter scores. Swisher will stop at third. McCoy gets the ball in. It's an RBI single for Andrew Jones, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, that'll change the numbers a little bit. 4-hitter today. Gets a pitch. Outer third. Nice piece of hitting. Doesn't pull off the baseball. Because of the big shift, Swisher had to make sure that ball got by Kelly Johnson, the second baseman. I think it was hit too hard. Mike McCoy gets that ball in quickly. Wants to stay on the baseball through the middle. Kelly Johnson almost was able to get it because of that shift. Not a very strong arm from Mike McCoy.
Rob Thompson giving instructions to Nick Swisher. And Granderson's at the plate against Happ. First and third, 1 man out. There's a strike. Curtis, 9 hits in his last 38 at-bats. He was 0 for 2 with a sac fly yesterday and 0 for 5 on Monday. And the sac fly was part of the little ball that Al told you about at the beginning of the game, where the Yankees manufactured a run. Walk, moved to second on a wild pitch, hit to the right side, runner to third, and a sac fly. Let's see if they turn 2 here. Here's 1. Not in time. The throw pulls Lind off the bag. That allows Swisher to score. An RBI for Granderson. It's 2-0 Yanks.
Well, Grandy busting down the line there. You have a chance to break up the double play. Let's see how Andrew Jones is able to break it up. I think Yunel Escobar had enough time. Just got underneath that ball, pulling Adam Lind off the bag. Grandy getting an RBI. Let's see him busting out of there, making sure you get down that line. Yunel Escobar just didn't make a good throw.
Here's Steve Pearce, batting 6th in the lineup today, and pops that one up. Kelly Johnson fights the sun and puts it away for the final out. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. We played 1. It's 2-0 Yankees, and Escobar will lead off against CeCe. Which of these American League hitters is having the most impressive bounce-back season? Here are your choices. So the Orioles, Chris Davis, Al? How about the Blue Jays, Edwin Encarnacion? The Tigers, Austin Jackson? Alex Rios of the White Sox? Or Kendrys Morales of the Angels? Don't answer me, Al. You can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply.
How about Adam Dunn?
No, make them add a 6th.
38. Jacks leads the league in home runs after an awful year last year.
Not just awful, one of the worst years of all time in Major League Baseball.
There you go.
There's a strike to Escobar. So you're going off the grid and voting for Adam Dunn.
I'll stay on the grid.
Count 0-2 on Escobar. Escobar has a 6-game hitting streak. It's a vitamin hitting streak, though. 1 a day, 6 for 23. Swing and a miss. Stewart looks like he's hurt. Now, I don't know if the umpire said it was a foul ball or a backswing. I think got him on the backswing.
Well, good slider once again. Yeah. Hit Chris Stewart on the back of the head here. Yunel Escobar, big, long backswing.
Well, let me ask you a question now, and I don't know the answer to this, and maybe I should know this rule. Why did the umpire, Chris Conroy, call him back? Even though he got hit with the backswing, the catcher did not catch the ball on the fly. The runner or the batter should be able to try to take first.
Well, my guess is that you knocked the catcher out on a backswing.
Had you ever heard that rule? I didn't know that was a rule.
I didn't either, but it would make sense, I guess, if you swing and you hit the catcher after you already had struck out. You're right. That ball was in the dirt. You have to throw him out at first. We'll have to find out.
Kelly Johnson lofts one to left center. Ichiro with the call on the catch for the second out.
Maybe after the play, there's now obstruction for a defender who has to make a play, and you hit him with the bat.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Interference.
Here's Moises Sierra. And a strike.
Seen a lot of sliders early here from CC, and he loves it. 65% of his strikeouts have come via the slider. The highest percentage of a strikeout pitch, other than a fastball in the major leagues. You go in, Dwayne Murphy, the hitting coach for the Toronto Blue Jays. That, you know, every player, they have video now at unbelievable lengths that players will watch if they want, and they know that. But it has tremendous tilt. And then occasionally stand up a hitter, fastball, 93, more than enough velocity. He's thrown a couple little changeups. Just knows how to pitch. When you think about CC over the years, eventually your velocity gets a little lower, slow down as you get older. You learn how to pitch. He's incorporated that two-seam changeup. There it is right there. So you got fastball in, slider, and then that little two-seam, little kind of take a little off. Not quite a changeup. (13-3) every year, gives a lot of innings. First time since '06 that he was on the DL this year. First with the groin and then the elbow inflammation.
Two. Reaches for it with his bare hand, but it gets out to Cano, who just gets Sierra for the final out. Let's see if it got him on the hand. I think it missed him, and Cano shows off his great arm as the Blue Jays go down in order. for a chance to win a VIP experience for two to a 2012 MLB World Series game. Presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of MLB. Looks like there's something wrong with Happ as the trainer and the manager head out to see what's going on with their left-hander. They noticed something as he was warming up. A lot of nodding going on. See if we can see anything with the last few warm-up pitches.
Soft, gingerly. Oh, he's hobbling around. Maybe something with his leg.
Well, we're going to leave him in there.
Boy, you know, if you talk about a team that's been riddled with injuries, Batista, Morrow went down, Drabek, Brett Lawrie. 3/5 of their rotation, Sergio Romo, Sergio Santos, the closer, catcher at Sevilla.
Jason Nix takes a strike from Happ. 2-0 Yankees lead. RBI single by Andrew Jones. RBI ground out by Granderson in the first. Chases a pitch out of the zone. Now, in asking around in the press box area, the best thing that we can come up with why the play just died there when on the backswing. Once you hit the catcher with a backswing, the ball is dead. So once the ball is dead, the swing and a miss would not have resulted in an opportunity to go to first base. You buying that, Al? I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, unlike a deflection off the glove, where if there's runners moving, the runners have to go back. Interference, catcher's interference.
It's Rule 606C. Strike three. If the batter interferes with the catcher, the plate umpire shall call interference. The batter is out, the ball is dead. No player may advance on such interference, and all runners must return to the last base that was, in the judgment of the umpire, legally touched at the time of the interference. So that makes sense, and that's it. It's done.
Nice. 606B?
C, I think.
Ichiro is going to be getting more at bats with Teixeira down. Swisher playing first. Platoon of Andrew Jones and Raul Ibanez. Great hitter Ichiro for so many years. This year struggling against left-handers. Maybe this opportunity to get more ABs against the lefties and be able to hit the ball hard. Got a hit yesterday. Off of the starter Ricky Romero.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. These are just words and numbers. I'll tell you, it's great out. 75 degrees, 39% humidity, not much wind, sunny skies with low humidity. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Ed Hickok. So Ichiro Suzuki down swinging.
Well, look rather defensive. Let's take a look. We'll get a good. Well, he broke the wrist. That was a swing. Just a sly little peek down to Ed Hickok's, hoping that he would not have called a strike three.
Chris Stewart takes the pitch out of the zone 1-0.
He's done a nice job handling the pitching staff. Backup catcher to Russell Martin. 256 batting average. I think the Yankees would take that. .300 in August. 6 for 20. Role of a backup. Know your staff. Study the opposing hitters. Almost like another pitching coach in many ways. I think of over the years, Michael, some of them, certainly defensively. I mean, that's why a backup catcher is there. Good catch and throw guy, but if you get a little offense out of him, it's a bonus. And Chris Stewart's done a nice job. He's coming over.
I don't think the Yankees expected 256.
No.
Swing and a miss, and Happ strikes out the side. Maybe he lulled the Yankees to sleep with that faux injury. As we go to the third, it's 2-0 Bombers. Shows us that the Yankees are leading 2-0 over the Blue Jays, the rubber game of this 3-game set. And here in the top of the third will be Mathis leading off. Sabathia on the mound. And the pitch is high. We are joined in the booth by our colleague Jack Curry. Talk to Jack in just a sec. Now, Jack, I don't know if you realize this, but Al was very, very careful today to not spill anything on the tie because he knew that we'd be on camera right now.
And so far, he's done a good job.
By the way, that's a great tie.
I know he likes this tie.
He does like the tie.
And you complimented this tie once before when I was in the studio. So
nice.
I got to keep this one on heavy rotation.
Yeah, but then it wears out its welcome. There's a ground ball off the glove of CeCe, but it goes into left center field for a base hit. So Sabathia has come back and done a good job for the Yankees. Gives up a hit right here. Moments ago, Happ heads down the steps and he's walking gingerly after striking out the side. So we'll see if he comes back out.
Well, nobody warming up yet, Michael.
Well, if they decide that he's injured,
Yeah,
they have as
true.
much time as they need to warm up. Speaking of injuries, Andy Pettit, every day there's an update with him, Jack. What do we have on Andy?
Right, Michael, we know he threw up flat ground yesterday. Today was the first opportunity. We had to talk to him. He said the arm feels good, his legs feel good, but the one thing I took out of the conversation that we had with him is this is going to be a slow process. He reiterated that he can't have another setback. He's going to be methodical about coming back. The next step is to get him on a mound. Joe Girardi said that could come this weekend. I asked Andy, as the days start to get eliminated from the calendar, how many starts do you think you need in September to potentially pitch in the postseason? And he said he thought 2 or 3. He thought 2 or 3 would be enough to get him ready.
Slow ground ball to third, bobbled there by Nix, and everybody is safe. So an error on Nix as the Yankees make their second error today behind CeCe.
Well, you see where he was playing far enough up for Maria to potentially bunt. That was a play he should have had. That last little bit just underneath his glove. E5. Watch here, the little number. He gets to it, just not able to get the glove down low enough. Kicked it. Should have been made.
Not only shouldn't have been made, Al, but he's a guy who has made them. I'm pretty sure that's his first error in 50 games at third base. He had been very sure-handed this year with the Yankees and in the major leagues last year.
Here's Rajai Davis. And he bunts. And bunts foul. Now, I thought it was interesting what Girardi said today. He pretty much admitted that if Andy doesn't get a couple of starts, he might not be able to pitch him in the playoffs.
Right. He mentioned that, but the other thing I thought was also interesting, Michael, is the idea that he will potentially rehab on the fly. That the Yankees are in a pennant race, and Al, I'd love to get your take on this, that they may go into a game knowing Pettit's going to pitch 3 innings, and then have your Lowe or your Phelps in waiting, and that may be how they go with Andy Pettit. 3 innings this start, 4 innings the next start, 5 innings the next start.
Well, and I think, based on with Nova going down, the uncertainty as to the back end of the rotation, why not? I mean, you know what Andy could do. It's not a matter of whether you think he's going to embarrass himself or not being able to get quality, as you say, maybe 3 or 4 innings at the start. There'll be a pitch count limit because there are only going to be games in the minor leagues here in a little bit, a couple weeks, right?
Right, and depending on how teams do in the playoffs, he might have to do that at this level. Joe Girardi also mentioned simulated games, but I think with what Andy Pettit had done this year, what he's done in the postseason in the past, that the Yankees are going to do everything to build him up, to have him ready, and he's going to have to pass some tests, but I think that they're going to have the confidence that if he says he's ready to pitch in the postseason and they get there, he's going to be the guy they go to.
Well, and you think about that, you get an opportunity for a left-right scenario. Phil Hughes was very good in his last 3 starts. Not speculating out here, but you see Kuroda's been very good. If you can figure out a way to get Andy in that mix with the Phil Hughes, the way he's been throwing, potentially could be good.
Punched out right field. It's a base hit. Mathis held up, so everybody advances just 1 base. So a very, very soft bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, after the error, Davis looked like he was going to try to lay a bunt down. This ball is way off the plate. Just flicking the ball out there. It gets enough on it. You see the way pull where Robinson Cano would have been. Just places it perfectly. Based on a scouting report, I guess, that they have figured that Rajai Davis was going to pull the ball as much as he did not.
Just getting back to Pettit for a moment, that's why it was so important for the Yankees to have a significant lead so they could play games like that, 3 innings, 4 innings, whatever, with Andy. But if they have a 3-game lead with a week to go or 10 days to go, those games are all really important. So Mike, you're rehabbing and then you have to win games.
You were in the room and Joe Girardi was asked that question, and he said, this is what you have to do. This is what they have to deal with. It's the perfect situation, you're right, would be to have a double-digit lead and to be getting your players back on your terms. But there is no doubt that they could have a lead of 2, 3, 4 games where Andy Pettitte is pitching a game that they absolutely have to win, and they know they're getting 50 or 60 pitches out of him on that day.
0-2 count on McCoy. McCoy grounded out to first in the first. Yankees looking for a double play here. Grounded to third. There's one. They're coming home, and they'll get that out as well. Good play by Nix.
Triple play.
No. He was out. He tagged third, then became a forced tag play at home.
I followed Stewart's excitement when Stewart threw it down to third. I thought, are they going to
that was the first out.
Triple play?
Jason Nix tagging third, and now becomes a tag at home. Get out of this. It'd be fantastic. Hard hit ball. Jason able to get that ball. Make sure he gets a good throw to home. Stewart waiting for Jeff Mathis, easily getting him out. Yeah, I think Stewart. Obviously, good catch there. That would advance the runners.
Not out of the woods yet. You've got Encarnacion. Jack, we saw the Ugandan players, the little leaguers, in the bleachers during roll call. We saw them in the clubhouse pregame with Joe Girardi giving them a tour. Did you get a chance to talk with them?
I did. I talked to the coach and some of the players. And Michael, there was a really cool exchange, a nice sports transcending everything kind of exchange when Jabba Chamberlain met with some of the players and the coach, whose name is Coach Henry. He gave Jabba a pair of Ugandan sandals, which were made out of tires, car tires, which is what the kids wear. Jabba came back out on the field, and you see that glove that Coach Henry is wearing. That's one of Jabba's mitts. Pulled it out of his locker and came back out and said, "Here, I want to give you a gift as well." Just a really neat scene.
Very cool. It was funny and heartwarming seeing the kids' faces as they walked in the Yankee clubhouse. I mean, there's some major leaguers that walk in that clubhouse and they're blown away, and those kids were just so wide-eyed they didn't know what to say.
I talked to one little boy named Andrew Namwanja, 11 years old. He's only played baseball for 6 months. And what the coach did in forming this team is he went around Uganda, and kids don't know baseball, so he looked for body types. And this kid admitted that I made the team because I'm tall. But here's how quickly he has soaked up baseball. He started to show us the grip on some of his pitches, and this is how I hold my pitch, and was just beyond excited to be at Yankee Stadium. Said he couldn't believe that a chance meeting along the side of a road with his coach had brought him to Yankee Stadium.
Runners go on 3-0, and that ball is looped into left field. It's a base hit. Rajai Davis scores. McCoy goes to third, and a base hit off the bat of Encarnacion. It's 2-1 Yankees. Ow. They ran him on 3-0.
3-0. That, you know what? I don't know whether that was done just by Encarnacion getting the message to his base runners. 3-0. CC was actually pitching around him. The previous pitch to me was 2-0, little changeup off the plate. They're running on a 3-0 count. Encarnacion, I guess they figured that he was going to put the ball in play with 2 outs. It's either a walk or, well, to their advantage, a run scored. If they were not moving, then I don't believe they would have scored there.
So another ribby for Encarnacion, his 89th of the year. Here's Adam Lind. Pitch inside. 1-0. Davis does have 39 steals, and he steals third base more than anybody in baseball. Maybe he's just going, but it does make sense to go on 3-0. I guess he's thinking if he has the green light, he's going to hit it, and if it's out of the zone, it's ball 4 anyway. I'm moving the third. The only thing that you do with running there is you almost make the hitter swing at a pitch that's close that he might not swing at on 3-0. And that could be a disadvantage. If it's right down the pipe, of course, he'd swing and put into play. There's no gamble. But Davis gets a run scored, first of the game for the Jays. Good breaking ball. You talked with CeCe. He's looking forward to the off day tomorrow, right, Chad?
He's looking forward to the off day for a reason that a lot of our viewers, and Al, you could associate with this. His son has a football game, and normally it would be the type of thing that CeCe wouldn't be able to attend. But his son is a quarterback for a team in New Jersey, And CC had a big smile on his face when he told me the other day, I'm glad we have the day off. I want to go see this game.
There's a base hit to right field. That's going to tie the game as Encarnacion will move to third. It's an RBI single for Lynn, and we're all nodded it too.
CC getting behind in a couple of these last at-bats. Encarnacion may have been a bit of a surprise swinging. I don't think so. The way the Blue Jays have been playing, their offense has been depleted. That ball is another. Had a 2-0 count through a curveball to get to 2-1. Fastball inside. Not an awful pitch. Adam Lynn was able to get the barrel of the ball. Just leaving the ball up here in these last couple bats.
So first and third now, 2 outs for Escobar. You know that Yunel Escobar has the 4th most home runs in the history of baseball by a player whose first name begins with the letter Y. Yadier Molina leads with 72, Yunieski Betancourt 67, Yorvi Torrealba 56, and Escobar 51. There's a base hit inside third and down the left field line. Scoring is Encarnacion. Lynn will go to third. It's an RBI double for Escobar, and just like that, the Blue Jays lead 3-2. And Larry Rothschild out to the mound.
Just getting in bad counts, Michael, and I don't know whether he's kind of pitching around. I can't imagine that. First pitch to Escobar was a breaking ball. It gets into 1-0 count. He took it, looking at it like he knew it was coming. Jason Nix putting a good effort on it, way off the bag. You see the difference of the defensive alignment based on the hitter. No chance right past the bag. Quick 3 spot for the Blue Jays. Just seeing Blue Jay hitters. When you get a pitcher at CC, I said he's got the most strikeouts non-fastball in baseball. 65% of his strikeouts come from a slider. What I'm watching here early is that, yes, he's thrown some good ones. They're starting to take his slider and look for the fastball. He's getting in some bad counts right here.
It was Kelly Johnson.
There's a good one.
Now, Jack, with such a big stretch coming up, the Yankees can't afford to lose a game like this. They couldn't afford to lose that Saturday game in Cleveland. These are teams that you almost have to sweep when you see them.
I know that players don't like to say that publicly, Michael, and they say every game is any team can beat any other team at any other time, but you're absolutely right. When you see the Indians and the Blue Jays on your schedule, and the way those teams had been playing, the Blue Jays came in here having lost 21 of 26. We see what lies ahead of the Yankees. And there are some games on your schedule where you're right. You have to think winnable game. And the Yankees today, with CC Sabathia on the mound, home game, day game, where they are, where they want to go, where the Blue Jays are, where they're not going. Yes, the Yankees have to believe this is a game they should win.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Sabathia. Jack will stay with us. The Blue Jays score 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, 1 big error, and 2 men left. Yankees 3-2. 3 runs on 5 hits. The Yankees 2 runs, 2 hits, and an uncharacteristic 2 errors in 2 innings. Beautiful sunny day. Those young gentlemen shading themselves with 2 outstanding looking lids. I have the same one as the one on the right.
The right.
Jay Happ is back despite hobbling down the steps at the end of the bottom of the second. He sees a lead. He doesn't want to be taken out. He also struck out the side in the second. And that's going to bring up Jeter. Foul back. Jack, a lot of people, we're joined by our very own Jack Curry here in the booth. A lot of people after the game and before the game today were still talking about the great play that Cano made for a double play. Jumped up, grabbed a line drive, and then fired to third to get Colby Rasmus. I know you talked to Mick Kelleher. What did he have to say about that?
Well, he talked about that play, Michael, the way they talk about Olympic diving. He gave it a degree of difficulty. He said what Cano was able to do to first be able to get to the ball. He said he's perfectly positioned, then he gets the ball, and he said how quickly he lands and fires to third. Just an incredible play. He also gave Nix a lot of credit for playing that ball like a first baseman, making the stretch, getting the out. He said it was a bang-bang play. And he was amused. He was joking around a little bit that on a certain highlight show, it was the 7th best play of the night. He said the other 6 were not better than this. He said this should have been the best play of the night.
A little biased.
Line drive right at Escobar, 1 away. And also, as a guy who works with the infielders, you can't practice that. That's all instinct.
It's all instinct. It's athleticism. It's being smart enough to know that that play is in front of you. Kelleher said, listen, he gets a double play like that at second base, you're saying nice play. But he said to have the arm strength and the smartness or the intelligence to be able to fire that ball across the diamond. You're not going to see a lot of players who will ever do that. Joe Girardi said after the game one second baseman would make that play, the one who made it.
High praise. You played with a pretty good second baseman, Roberto Alomar.
As I thought he was going to say, I've seen Roberto Alomar play. Yeah, there's an instinct to it, no doubt about it. You got a runner at third base. Colby Rasmus, we talked about last night, Michael. Maybe he got a little too aggressive secondary lead because of his arm strength. Nice play. I mean, in a 2-1 game, it's a huge moment.
Now, Alomar won 10 Gold Gloves, so he's on a planet all by himself too. But would he have had the arm strength on that play? I'm not sure Robbie had the arm strength that Cano has.
Fair enough. Robbie was pretty good. I mean, he had that little flick throw as well, but not as strong as Cano. What I thought Roberto Alomar, he fought like a pitching coach. I mean, he was in so many different places thinking about how the pitcher was throwing, where he should be, and instinctively so many times, Jack, he'd throw that ball a cutoff at second and automatically throw to third when he'd have a runner being held up. I've seen so many guys getting thrown out.
You know, there are a lot of people in baseball, as Nick Swisher walks, that really believe that Cano is coming up to play right now, might have the best arm of any infielder in the game. Because if you can't tell when he does that underhanded flip, it just shows he has a good arm. But you really can take notice when he's out in right center field taking a relay throw and then firing to third. The guy has a great arm. His skill sets are off the charts.
And even that flip throw, Michael, and I know it just looks like he's coming from down under, but the accuracy that he has when he throws that, it looks as if he's just a Sunday day in Central Park and he's playing softball and he's going to flip it over there. But every throw is so true.
Here's Cano. Not too bad with the bat either. Grounded foul. Any further word on A-Rod? I know he was taking more BP today indoors.
I watched him take some more grounders, and it just seems like every day, Michael, that he accelerates it a little more. He was out there with Mick Kelleher taking grounders, and he was really going through a vigorous workout. So I think for him, again, it's a couple more days, and as you mentioned, Brian Cashman saying perhaps a rehab assignment coming up soon. Getting back to Cano real quickly, Michael, you mentioned his skill set and his talent level, and obviously he worked incredibly hard to get to this level. But having a conversation with his dad during the off season, I asked him, how much did you work on him with his swing when he was a young kid? And his dad, Jose, said it was a natural swing. He said this way you see him swing now is the way he swung as a young man. Now, obviously, there have been some tinkering done, but he said this was the way he swung a bat as a 12-year-old.
Not too bad.
When I hear you say that, Jack, you know, so many kids out there playing baseball at all different levels, and the natural athleticism. And as you're saying that about his father, I'm thinking Ken Griffey Jr. You know, we talked about it first game, Michael, or you know, Alex Rodriguez, just baseball players. I don't say you're born a baseball player, but there's just a certain smoothness about this game when played right. It's beautiful, and he's got it. I mean, the rhythm and the timing of Robinson Cano's swing. You hear other major leaguers just marvel at how nice a swing he's got.
This is a great shot we were just showing there because his dad talked a lot about the hips. Now, that's not a great shot for the Yankees because he swings and misses, but Cano's dad talked about all the power that is generated from his hips and how he talks to him about that's where your power is going to come from. Keep your legs strong. And Cano this swing is just something nice to watch. Again, the result wasn't what the Yankees wanted right there, but just a prolific hitter and a terrific guy to watch hit.
So he's 0 for 2 today against Happ. Here is Andrew Jones, who singled to center and drove in a run in the first inning. Boy, they really are extreme with the shift on Andrew Jones. They almost robbed him of a hit in the first inning because the second baseman Johnson shades up the middle. The third baseman Echevarria is playing so close to the line and deep, it's almost as if he's protecting a one-run lead in the 8th or 9th inning. That's a no doubles defense.
You know, it's also, Michael, how your pitcher on the mound is going to go after, and that's all coordinated with your bench coach who sits with the pitching coach, and you go through. All right, what does J.A. have? How does he throw? How's he going to attack Andrew Jones? And I agree. Echevarria, he's almost like no doubles, as you just said, down the third baseline.
Count 3-0. And he takes all the way for ball 4.
Anything, Joe, talk about with Steve Pearce? First game as a Yankee last night. He batting fourth. Now here Andrew Jones against a left-hander.
He talked about Pearce and what Pearce did with the walk, the secondary lead, taking the base, and that helped the Yankees build a run. You think of your cleanup hitter and you think, okay, the guy's got to come and hit the long ball. Joe credited Pearce for his base running and how the Yankees were able to get that run. And for today with Jones, Girardi was asked about, do you hope you put him in this slot and it gets him going? And he said, yeah, that's exactly what you're hoping for. And guys, let's be honest, they got Andrew Jones to hit against left-handed pitching, and coming into today, he was 5 for his last 46 against left-handed pitching. So the hit in the first inning, a walk here where he didn't go out of the zone, maybe these are a couple of good signs for the Yankees.
That one gets away from Mathis, and both runners will move up.
Well pitch. J.A. Happ, let's see what happens here with Mathis. This ball is just kicks away. Tried to get in front of it. Slider. Looks like he could have caught it in the air. It wasn't that far in the dirt. Might have just hit off his glove.
One and one.
That's one of those mistake moments. You hang a slider, a guy, Granderson, 33 home runs. When right, can hit left-handers. Happ got away with a mistake there.
Do you think there's any concern, Jack, that Granderson now 9 for the last 39 and really has been striking out a lot?
The strikeouts are something that he even talks about, how it's something that he would love to cut down on. I think there has to be some concern, but he's also been a guy who has been so prolific for them power-wise and so good against lefties that I think Joe Girardi hopes that he figures a way to get himself out of it. But he's an important part of what the Yankees do offensively. So, yeah, you don't like to see those strikeouts, though, and you don't like to see those kind of droughts that he's gone through this year.
And you don't look at him and think 235 hitter, and that's what he's hitting right now. Does have the 33 home run, so you kind of take a deep breath and live with it. Check swing, but he goes around, so the count 3-2. Those are the strikeout leaders in the American League. Adam Dunn with an unsightly 184. Pena 159. Curtis Granderson 157. And the payoff. Served into left field. Davis is there, and it's over his head. 2 runs will score. Granderson picks up a 2-run double, and it's 4-3 Yankees. Davis froze out there, and the ball took off. He could not backpedal and get it. And the Yankees get a break, and they take the lead back.
Huge break, Michael. This pitch going down and away. Pretty good for him to even get the better part of the barrel on it. I thought this was just a lazy fly ball to the left. Rajay Davis came a couple steps in, realized, I don't know whether the sun had affected him. The sun over right behind the first base dugout here just did not get a read off the bat. Ended up playing it into a double. A poor play by Rajay Davis. Break for the Yankees.
Big break. 4-3 Yankees now. Here's Steve Pearce. And a strike.
Michael, it's interesting when you see a play like that unfold, because the Blue Jays had a game over the weekend where they lost to the Orioles 8-2, and they made mistakes like that. And John Farrell spoke to it after the game about how things aren't going to go well for you all the time, but you have to have your head in the game. You have to be focused. And that's an example right there of a bad team giving you a chance. And the Yankees have to seize this opportunity right now, because as Al said, that was a fly ball to left field. You could see by Granderson's reaction, he thought that's what it was. The Yankees have the lead now. They have to remind a poor team why they're playing so poorly because of things like that. I even go back to what you guys brought up in the first inning with Escobar. I mean, that looked like a double play ball, and the Yankees ended up getting a run out of it because it just seems like Escobar was a little lazy around the bag in turning that double play, and the eventual throw wasn't great either.
Happ makes the play on Pearce, and that will do it. We'll hear from Jack later on the postgame with Chris Sheeran. Yankees retake the lead. 2 walks and a gift double. They're up 4-3 as we go to the 4th. Austin Romine's father, Kevin, was selected 29th overall in the 1982 Major League Draft. Which pitcher who won a World Series with the Yankees was selected 30th overall by Toronto? Won a World Series with the Yankees.
Cool. You got that one.
I think I know.
Sure.
Austin Romine, who had a bad back and missed really the first 4 months of the year, activated off the DL at the end of August, and now he's with AAA. So he could get called up when the rosters expand. You always want a third catcher. Could be Cervelli, who's been playing down there as well.
3 or 4 catchers. Yeah, we talking around, kicking it. It happens every year in baseball. The September 1st rosters are allowed to expand to 40, and there's a lot of articles I've read and people talking about how the imbalance of how some clubs call up 6 or 7 players, other teams call up 12.
Swing and a miss. Sierra down on strikes.
Nice slider right there. And you think about the imbalance, Michael. Here, these managers manage a 25-man roster for 5-6 of the season, and then the most important month of the year, they're allowed to have 5 guys off the bench that can run and 6 left-handers.
And it's really unfair, Al, because when you manage, you are managing to make the other manager use all of his pieces. I mean, you make maneuvers, you send up a lefty so he has to bring out one of his lefties out of the book. That doesn't apply in September. The most important games, it doesn't apply because there's a never-ending package of pitchers that they could open up again.
Right, but when you said unfair, this is where the debate comes into, because what's unfair about it? You bring up 12 guys, I bring up 12 guys.
But it's unfair because if you're making a run in a pennant race, you're not playing kids in September. But a team like the Blue Jays, they can play kids. They could call up 14 guys because if they mess up, losing the game's not going to cost them a postseason appearance.
I got that. You're playing basically as you say, they're kids. You're playing a AAA team. If that is the case, if the Blue Jays decide, or teams that are in last place, they bring up 10, 12 players. They're looking to the future, and yes, there's it. I just think the imbalance is this: that, like I think they do it in hockey. I should know that, but you each night you have the manager declare, pick a number, 28 players, 30 players, whatever. Expand the roster. Give guys an opportunity to that are banged up to maybe get healthy or. Just have it fixed at that.
A moving taxi squad.
Yeah.
That one is driven out to left field. Ichiro is there, and he retires Mathis for the second out. I think it's a healthy debate, and I believe that most managers do not want that many people around. And I think the managers that have to manage teams that are really making a serious run at something, they don't want to manage a game they haven't managed for the first 5 months. And I understand that they can have a lot of extra people too, but all of a sudden you are managing a different game than the first 5 months of the season. We saw a lot of that last year, and the games are much longer because you're bringing a pitcher for every batter, pinch run constantly. There's almost too many pieces to use. The 0-1. Grounded to short. Jeter's there. And a 1-2-3 inning bounce back for CC Sabathia. We're going to go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at the stadium, and it'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order. Line quiz. Austin Romine's father, Kevin, was selected 29th overall in the 1982 MLB draft. Which pitcher who won a World Series with the Yankees was selected 30th overall by Toronto? I'm thinking Jimmy Key.
Oh, yeah. I thought Boomer.
You were right. Wow. Nice job.
Boomer Wells, first rounder,
Yeah.
San Diego High School, Ocean Beach.
Good for you.
But wow, when you said David, but
Jimmy Key?
You know why he wasn't first round? Jimmy was like 6th round. Clemson.
I was wrong. So that means that.
Wait. Say that again?
I was wrong.
Wow.
I'm not Fonzie. I could say it. So you've gotten 2 quizzes in a row.
I should have. If I didn't get Devon White last night, that'd have been awful teammate.
Well, I've heard you weren't a great teammate, so that would make sense. The 0-1 to Knicks.
Now stop. See, now you say stuff like that. People out there.
No, Al was a tremendous teammate. Ow. Just hit me. Hey, Al, are you starting to get any thoughts now that 50-year-old Roger Clemens came back to pitch? Why can't 48-year-old Al Leiter pitch?
I'm not 48. I'll be 47 in October. Thank you.
Well, I'm giving you another year of retirement.
You know, yeah, good for Roger.
You
He
think
wants
you
to
could?
do it.
He threw 87. You think you could throw 87?
I could throw. I think I threw like 82 on the boardwalk at Seaside Heights last year. On
That's
one of those
with
radar
flip-flops,
games.
too,
I was
right?
in flip flops. Yeah, I hit 82. Little sink. I got the advantage too, the left-handed. Get a little, turn the ball over.
You had a lot of years left in you. Joe Torre tried to talk you out of it.
A little lefty reliever. Yeah, I don't. You know, some guys they'll play till the very end. I got a chance to play Ricky Henderson. And remember when Ricky was doing his thing with all the independent ball and wanted to get back, and you know, I remember having a conversation with Jack Morris, saying, "Let him rip the uniform off you."
That's what David Cohn used to say.
Jim Palmer, remember when he tried to come back?
I think you should do it, Al.
Right.
Now, your son's old enough that he'd really appreciate you pitching in the big leagues now.
I got a bum hip, and my right knee's got trouble.
But other than that, Knicks fouls it back.
Yeah, there may be a shot at Roger getting a start or two in Houston, from what I'm reading.
He keeps insisting that's not happening at this point. There's not even another start scheduled for the Skeeters.
Sugarland Skeeters.
Yep.
They're in the same league as the Somerset Patriots.
Yep. Sparky Law's team. As Jason Nix works a walk.
Nice at bat from Jason. Being patient here. Jay Happ throwing enough off-speed pitches to offset the timing of some of these Yankee hitters. Get a little bit too aggressive in some moments where Jay Happ's taken advantage of some pitches that were out of the zone. Yankees are swinging at some balls.
Snap throw to first, and just getting back is Nix.
Well, you got to. I'm not sure if that's a fake bunt or not. Maybe you see Jason Nix getting far out there. That could be a sacrifice bunt. I can't imagine. Maybe Ichiro doing it on his own, seeing where Echeverria is at third base. Maybe was not far enough in. He's coming in a little bit now.
There's a strike.
Good a guy still. I know Ichiro getting a little old, 266, can handle the bat. Maybe see if you see some motion here. Put the ball in play. Get a little hit and run action.
Bunted foul.
This year, Ichiro 233 against left-handers, 287 righty against the right-handed pitcher. Such a threat for so many years, 200+ hits. Great hitter to put the ball in play and hit it hard anywhere. Wherever you threw that baseball, Ichiro was going to hit it. Put the ball on it.
Line Line drive, base hit. Knicks round second. He'll go to third. Ichiro is going to second. The throw not in time. It's a double. And the Yankees have runners on second and third and nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning.
Well, it worked out even better, Michael. Trying to sacrifice bunt. Move Knicks over. Ichiro still able to handle the bat. Gets a breaking ball down the end. I'll tell you, right off the bat, when he hits this ball, it shoots down the right field line. There was no hesitation from Ichiro. Moises Sierra fields his ball. Hit hard. Little bit more straight away. You see Ichiro, not a hesitation in his step. Easily getting to second base. Out in front. Foot down. Nice swing. Is able to get a good pass at it. Hard smash by Adam Lynn. Yankees got a little something going on here. Nobody out. Second and third.
And the Blue Jays bring the infield in for Chris Stewart. Popped up. Mathis makes the catch for the first out.
Nah, that hurts. In the second and third. As a pitcher, you're thinking exactly that. Early in the count, infield pop-up number one, because ground ball, you got the infield in, batting average on it whole, and Major League's point average goes up about 75 points. No movement. And good pitch. You know, J.A. Happ. You see Jeff Mathis shade the sun right in the teeth of where the sun sets here, Yankee Stadium. A jam shot pitch. J.A. Happ, little cutter in on the hands. They're going to walk Derek. Pitch to Swisher. Force at any base.
So they are going to intentionally walk Derek Jeter and issuing a direct challenge to Nick Swisher. We're going to set up the double play and pitch to you. And Jeter this year with runners in scoring position, one of the better Yankees, 31 for 96. That's 323. So John Farrell doesn't want to take a chance. He will walk the captain and load the bases.
Not as good as Nick Swisher is. You talked to John Farrell the first night here when Casey Jansen had a chance to close the game out. Their closer, Derek Jeter, in the bottom of the ninth, after Colby Rasmus hit a 3-run homer off of Soriano. He said, I saw the numbers, and he was 0 for 13 or hadn't gotten a hit off Jansen, and Jeter goes the other way, tie the game up with a home run. Learned his lesson.
Swisher has walked twice and scored twice today. An opportunity to really give the Yankees an advantage. Nix is at third. Suzuki is at second. And Jeter is at first. One man out, bottom of the fourth inning. 4-3 Yanks.
Couple walks. Swisher seeing the ball out of J. Happ's hand. Getting a good count. Look for a fastball. Get a strike. Swisher's been hot. 21 RBIs in his last 20 games. Jeff Mathis wanting to get on the same page here. You don't want to keep shaking and stepping off. Big part of the ball game here, obviously, with the one-run lead the Yankees have. You're getting a bad count. You're going to want to lay a cookie in there for Swisher. But yeah, obviously, with the bases loaded, you can't fall too far behind.
Swing and a miss. Tempted him with a fastball out of the zone.
You know, that's the high, easy fastball that J.A. Happ throws. It's a good fastball, especially from a left-hander. See that ball just right up through the zone. Looks hittable, but it's got enough zip on, especially late life. Swish just a little behind it. Stay upstairs. It's a dangerous area.
There's a strike. Swisher does not like that call.
Well, he went right to Chris Conroy, the home plate umpire. Where'd you get that pitch? Let's see here if he's thinking it's high or away. Maybe both. I think it had the right height. That ball is about belt high. This would be a good shot. Had the right height. very hittable height. That ball is off the plate by about an inch.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Happ.
Well, after the first changeup got behind, you had a little visit with Jeff Mathis going over the game plan. I think that swung at the first fastball, and then a called strike got him in his mindset of, geez, is he going to call it again? And J.A. Happ just went a little farther out, swung at a ball.
Here's Cano.
Big hit right here. You get second and third, nobody out. Pop up to Chris Stewart, intentional walk. Big out on that strikeout. He'd get a career bases loaded. Very good. Robinson Cano, 308. Although this year 167, 3 for 18, but 2 of those 3 hits were grand slams.
Mathis wants to talk with Happ. This carbureted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Blocked by Mathis and a check swing by Cano, 1-1.
What Happ was able to do to Robinson in his previous at bat, struck him out. He threw him the off speed of about a 78-mile-an-hour curveball and did throw a couple fastballs, got Robbie thinking in. And that combination of a lefty be able to throw a fastball in on the hands of a left-handed hitter and then opens up the outside part of the plate. See if he goes soft here.
The 1-1. Good pitch. 1-2.
Wow, Michael, that just tells me where Robinson is right now. This is a 1-1 fastball right down the middle, 92, not 100. Either guessing, looking for off speed. That'd be my only guess. Robbie's comfortable. He's hitting that ball hard.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Cano 0 for 3 against Happ, so the strategy paid off. They walk Jeter to load the bases, and Happ strikes out Swisher and Cano. Orioles will come into action either 4 games back or 3 games back, depending on what the Yankees do today. Kia scoreboard has the Yankees up 4-3 as we go to the top of the 5th.
Loading up with those lefties.
Yeah.
Buck Showalter's got the O's believing. What a story they've been for the Major League Baseball.
It's going to be very interesting, Al, to see how the Orioles react playing in front of 45 to 48,000 people Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here at Yankee Stadium, because they've not gotten big crowds in their home ballpark, and now the competition is amped. It's been ramped up, and they've defied the odds and the expectations all year. Let's see if they keep it going.
Yeah, but the danger of a team like the Orioles, that it's the little engine that could, under the radar, people aren't giving us any credit. Hey, let's just keep banging away, guys. I think they'll love it.
Line drive right at Jeter.
Come here at Yankee Stadium, second place. Oriole baseball, I know you mentioned the attendance. It wasn't great.
Michael Gonzalez against Hiroki Kuroda on Friday. Wei-Yin Chen against Freddie Garcia on Saturday. And the mysterious TBA against David Phelps on Sunday. Could be Randy Wolf, who they just acquired.
Wei-Yin Chen, I like him. You talk about a good-looking left-handed pitcher.
That was a good signing by them.
Yes.
Kind of under the radar.
Jason Hamill's been throwing BP. He had a good first half, got hurt.
Push bunt towards second base, barehanded by Cano. What a play by Cano, taking a base hit away from McCoy.
So smooth. It's really fun to watch because it looks at times like, wow, is he going to get to it? Looks casual, underhand, such a firm flip throw. Most guys you'll see there'll be a little loop in it, or that is a hard dart. There's no little loop in this throw right here. All in one motion. Terrific bare hand play. Beautiful. Both sides of the baseball, right? You get a little frustrated. You got a chance of getting a big hit in the last inning, and there he makes a nice play.
Strike to Encarnacion. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Yankees leading 4-3 in the rubber game of this 3-game set. And Steve Delabar is up for the Jays. Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com app, that 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video, highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826. Visit Yankees.com for details.
See how CC maneuvers around Encarnacion, lefty on deck. Nasty. High fastball, 93, one of his better fastballs of the day for a ball, and then comes back with that beautiful slider. I mean, it almost has curveball depth to it. 82 mile an hour, it is a slider. He calls it a slider, but wow, big break.
The 1-2. Pitch is high.
See, this is textbook right here, Michael. Fastball in, slider down for a strike. Comes upstairs again with the fastball, speed him up, 93. See if he puts down another slider here. Slider, back foot, right hand, back foot.
Swing and a miss. And a 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. We're halfway through at the stadium. Yankees lead 4-3, and Andrew Jones will lead off the bottom of the inning. By Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Under brilliant sunshine here in the Bronx, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Yankees lead the Blue Jays 4-3. A perfect day for baseball. Some of the rain over the last 2 days moved some of the humidity out. And this is how they draw it up, a day like this. Pitches inside to Andrew Jones.
It's be a beautiful beach day. Down at the shore.
Where everything's all right.
Me and my baby on a Saturday night.
High pop-up. Johnson called off by the shortstop Escobar for the first out. Have you seen Bruce on this tour yet?
I have not, and I know he's going over to the MetLife Stadium. 3 dates in September.
Yeah.
But I think the Blue Jays come in. We got a yes game.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can make the night.
Is it a day game?
I believe so.
Oh. Had a chance to get tickets for the 19th, I think it was. But I'll be here with you.
If it's a day game, then you're good to go.
No, it's not. It's not. Have you?
No. Granderson, high fly ball. And McCoy makes a catch. Our producer Bill Baldwin has seen him a number of times. Actually saw him in Foxborough a couple weekends ago.
Billy's big Maroons fan, huh? Could you not?
Here's Steve Pearce. Pearce is 0 for 2 today. Popped to second and grounded back to the mound. In the count 2-0. Happ about to deliver his 100th pitch. Nice play on the backhand short hop by Escobar, and he gets Pearce for the final out of the 5th as the Yankees go down in order. We're going to the 6th. Yankees lead 4-3, and Adam Lind is going to lead it off in the top of the inning against CeCe. Nice play by Escobar to end it. Brought to you by Mazda.
Like to see that 4-3 game right now. Yankees are up. I'll tell you, CC Sabathia, his slider has looked like a curveball. I said at the start of the show, 65% of his strikeouts have been via the slider. Every one of these right here, folks, slider, slider, slider. He's teased these Toronto hitters with fastballs around the zone to get him out with the slider.
Leads 4-3. Adam Lind leads off. And there's a strike. Grounded foul. Good news in baseball, we find out that legendary Dodger broadcaster Vince Skelly is going to at least broadcast another year. And he actually is going to waive his rule where he only does home games and the games in Colorado and San Diego, and he's going to come to the Yankee-Dodgers series at the stadium next year. Yep. That one is looped into right field. Coming on Andrew Jones. He dives. And he doesn't make the play. So Lynn picks up a single. Andrew tried to sell that he made the catch, but the second base umpire, Angel Hernandez, was right there.
Well, great effort. I think initially he had it. It just, well, we'll take a look right here. It is in his glove, and then somewhere between there and underneath his belly, the ball slips out of his. I'll tell you what, I wonder if he was able to disguise it even more. Now here, clear view right here. Angel Hernandez, the second base umpire. It is in his glove and pops out.
How could Angel Hernandez, I mean, he made the right call. How could he have seen?
Yeah, well, I think it's that him crawling around trying to get the ball.
Well, that was in his glove for a while. Escobar squares the bunt, takes low 1-0.
But that, you know what? If he did have his body in a position where Angel Hernandez wouldn't have been able to visually see the transfer, you can only call what you saw.
And really beautiful the way the umpires rotated. This is what Angel Hernandez was able to see. There's a little bit of a different angle. So he has it for a while, then rolls up on top of it. Then the ball gets loose. And then he's reaching for it. And maybe Hernandez saw that.
Well, the position of Angel Hernandez, well, he's in good position.
Anyway, talking about the umpires rotating beautifully. Hernandez goes out to right to read it. The third base umpire, Ed Hickox, goes to cover second. And the home plate umpire, Chris Conroy, goes to cover third. And they're all in unison and worked it seamlessly.
About this, Michael, American League game we talked about last night. Yankees win 2-1 on small ball. Russell Martin pushing Steve Pearce over to third base. Scored on a sacrifice fly. We've seen now how many sac bunt attempts Ichiro tried. He ended up getting double down the line. Escobar now, fifth hitter in the Blue Jay lineup, squaring.
That was not a good bunt attempt as he pushed at it. I remember growing up watching Yankee games on WPIX, and Phil Rizzuto would always preach, you've got to catch the ball with the bat.
That's right. And it looks so easy, Michael. You would think that, okay, bunting it, really, come on. You got to be in position. And as you said with the great late Phil Rizzuto, see how he stabbed that at the end? Just keep the barrel there, wait, and you're catching it with the barrel. But
just missed.
I could tell you, Michael, having played in the National League where you do a lot of bunting in spring training, most guys, they don't bunt. 2 or 3 bunts in BP, and then okay, go ahead, whack away. So when you have moments in games like this, and even last night, guys don't know how to bunt.
And sometimes fans get upset. Well, why didn't they bunt there? Well, maybe the guy who's at the plate can't bunt.
Yes.
Just because you're in the big leagues, in the past it would mean that you could bunt, but a lot of guys have been 3 or 4 hitters their whole life, and then they're a little lower or higher in the lineup in the bigs. Doesn't mean they know how to bunt.
We saw it yesterday with Moises Sierra, the young, good-looking outfielder for the Blue Jays. A big, strong, burly guy. I'm sure in the minor leagues, he's a middle of the lineup, as you say, middle lineup thump guy. They're not bunting.
That one is driven in left field. It's deep. Going back, Ichiro looking up. See ya. A 2-run home run for Escobar. And just like that, the Blue Jays lead 5-4. That one got into the left field bleachers. So he missed the bunt and then goes yard. A 2-run home run.
Yeah, exactly. So much for the bunting, right? If somebody watching that say, there you go, swing away. Yunel Escobar, his 8th home run on the year. Gets a off-speed pitch, slider down and in, really middle of the plate. Escobar in his previous bat double off the CC. He got all that. That ball's up in the bleachers beyond the Blue Jay bullpen. CC knew it as soon as he threw it.
There's a strike to Johnson. Escobar his 8th home run and his 40th and 41st and 42nd runs batted in today. A 3 ribby day. Base hit for Kelly Johnson.
Well, they're getting good passes on CC. The only thing I could see here is that CC, while his velocity is good, it's not great, 92, top some 93s. He's really been 2-pitch pitcher today, Michael. Slider, we showed the pitch package of all of his strikeouts have been good depth. But he's really kind of basically eliminated that changeup that he throws. That 87 mile an hour, kind of a 2-seam sink away from the right-hander. That pitch there to Kelly Johnson, 1-2 count after a couple fastballs, just left it up enough for Johnson to be able to get the base hit to right field. There it is right there. You showed 3 pitches, and this isn't what a better CC start. If he can battle here, 75 pitches, get out of the 6th inning, get it 7 innings, get the Yankees to score some runs for him. But you got to identify either A, you don't have the same crispness of your fastball. You can't be 2-pitch pitcher unless you have that plus velocity on your fastball. That's a nice combination to Sierra. Change up away and then a fastball up and in. Some games are battles. They really are. I mean, you think you got the scout report and you want to make the pitches, and it's just a couple moments in a game you can go back and say, man, I'd like to take those couple pitches back.
The 0-2. Check swing. Mark Carlson said it was a check. Count 1-2.
But he's shown that with Chris Stewart. The fastball up in the zone and then slider down. Here comes a slider.
Count 2-2. Johnson leads off first. Nobody out. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Sierra down on strikes for the second time. He's 0 for 3.
Well, back to really his best pitch of the day. The slider. Sierra struck out on the same pitch in his previous at bat. They're on the yes mode. Chokes down on it, CC does, and then just pulls down at the very end. Middle finger pressure. Get that late break. Nice pitch.
Here's Jeff Mathis. Pitches inside. CC looked a lot sharper on Friday against the Indians. Laboring just a bit today. Giving up 8 hits over 5 1/3. And Friday you would expect him to be not as much in sync because he'd spent 15 days on the DL. But he looked good. There's a strike.
Same velocity? Have you seen enough?
I think his velocity was better on Friday.
Mostly there. That last pitch is 90-mile-an-hour fastball. He's been right in that 92 range.
He was mostly at 93, 94 in Cleveland. 100 pitches against the Indians. Good command, only 1 walk.
And you know, when you say that, Michael, maybe viewers at home, well, it's only a mile or 2. Really, there's a couple things that go on. As a pitcher, you know when the ball's coming out of your hand. It just feels right. It's got that little extra hop. You feel good about it. Your confidence is there. You're not afraid in the 2-0-2-1 is, outer third. You're not always just picking corners, getting bad counts. And there's a little bit of extra life. You've got that effort of saying, here, I can blow by you right here. And not every game. Now, CC, such a big winner. Great pitcher. You feel as the game goes along, which of your secondary pitches are working, which he's got a good slider. And if my velocity's off, I got to have a little better idea with command on my fastball.
Swing and a miss.
I mean, that's just been such a good pitch for CC today. And when you think about it, just I don't even say it was a mistake. Yunel Escobar hits a slider down in, was not that low. The home run as this pitch right here, similar, across the 2-seam, right on the top, pull down, beautiful on the Esmo. Mathis out in front. Every one of his strikeouts have been on that pitch.
Here's Echevarria. And there's a strike. He's 0 for 2, reached on an E5 and then grounded to short. Count 1-1. Echevarria dunks that one in the left field for a base hit in front of Ichiro. So the 4th hit of the inning against Sabathia.
Yeah, a little excuse me swing there. Echevarria gets a looked like a changeup up in the zone, just enough to get it out in front of Ichiro. Let's see here, this pitch. Yeah, that's that little changeup down the way. Good hitting. Actually out in front. He's able to throw a little base hit in left field. Keep CC working and getting that pitch count up.
Pitch outside to Rajay Davis. So 2 straight 1-2-3 innings for Sabathia in the 4th and the 5th. And then Lynn singles to open up the 6th. A 2-run home run by Escobar if he fouls the bunt, and then hits one into the bleachers and left. A single by Johnson, a strikeout of Sierra, a strikeout of Mathis. And Echevarria extends the inning with a single, so first and second, 2 outs.
Yeah, and while, CC giving up the 5 runs, you just put it in a nice little synopsis. You have an inning like this, Michael, where, as unfortunate it is, you get that pitch count up. He's up to 26 pitches this inning. His pitch count was pretty good going into this inning. Now he's up to 88. Figure out a way to conserve, even though you give up a 5 spot. How can I get deeper into this game?
Popped up, long run for Swisher near the seats, reaches in, doesn't make the play.
Well, fighting the sun, coming up to the railing there. If he had been there a little sooner, I think maybe he'd been able to slow down and get in position. Swish getting there as soon as he dropped his head down to see where the wall was. I think that's what put him in position to be able to catch that ball. It would have been a great play.
Count 2-2. Nothing seems to be coming easy for Sabathia today, and the Yankees get the bullpen up. It's Epley.
Yeah, there's some of these at bats, Michael. It's just some of these hitters. They're having good takes, meaning that there's the fool or out in front on some of these pitches. They're seeing it.
Swing and a miss. So Sabathia strikes out the side, but he relinquishes the lead because of Escobar. Yu now tries to bunt. He bunts poorly. The bunt is taken off, and then he does the opposite of a bunt. Almost literally a 2-run home run. The question was, which of these American League hitters is having the most impressive bounce-back season? Here's how you voted, everybody. 37% say Edwin Encarnacion, then Alex Rios. Now, if you look at the wording, though, bounce-back season, Edwin Encarnacion's never really had a really good season. So he wasn't bouncing back, he's just improved. Alex Rios has bounced back.
Exactly. Wait a minute. Now, didn't he have about 26 home runs last year? Encarnacion? I mean, 34 this year.
It's time for the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, as Jay Happ has himself a lead, and now he turns it over to the bullpen. And Steve Delabar will come on. Those are his numbers with Seattle and the Blue Jays.
Great story, Steve Delabar. Here's a guy who was drafted in 2003, 29th round by the Padres, and broke his elbow in 2009. Didn't pitch in 2010. And while he was rehabbing, he was a high school baseball coach, substitute teacher in Kentucky. Does it sound like the whole Jim Morris story? Started throwing, Michael. They got him at 95. He was throwing with his buddies. He sent the tape to Seattle, and they signed him. And here he is. And he's done a heck of a job for the Blue Jays.
You're right. He fractured his elbow. He had it wired back together, stabilized with the insertion of a steel plate and 9 screws. I think they did a pretty good job by the way he throws. So a substitute teacher in Elizabethtown, Kentucky at John Hardin High School. And while he was substitute teaching, he played slow pitch softball. And he also won the 2010 Louisville Invitational Tournament Mikan Home Run Derby. And it leads him back to the major leagues.
Oh, I got to see that elbow. It's nasty surgery. And you talk about someone that just stick around. Look at that. The stitching on a baseball. And not coming back just, guy throwing 88, 90 miles an hour, 95, 96.
And you wonder, though, you got 9 screws in there on a plate. How do you have the freedom to throw as hard as you don't? Isn't in the back of your mind you could hurt it again?
No, I'm 29 and I've got an opportunity of a lifetime, and here it goes. If I blow it, I blow it. Can't hold back.
So the count 3-2. Foul back 96 miles an hour from Delabar.
Jason just fighting it off. You got a 3-2 count. You don't want to swing out of anything out of the zone. Delabar with that plus fastball. This thing middle of the field.
That one is driven deep to left field. Giving chase Rajay Davis. That's going to be off the base of the wall. Heading to second is Nix. And he picks up a leadoff double. Fans, come out to Yankee Stadium Labor Day weekend for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Orioles. It's Sunday, September 2nd, and the first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees barbecue apron, courtesy of Stop and Shop. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
Nice piece of hit by Jason Nix. We got Delabar 95-96, gets a little changeup. Stays on and almost hit the ball out of the ballpark. Tie this game up.
Ichiro fouls it away. You know what was interesting about that? Nix is leading off. They bring in the right-hander, and Girardi elects to stay with Nix and doesn't answer with Chavez as a pinch hitter, and then Nix rewards him by getting that double. I mean, that would have been the automatic move. Chavez would have just stayed in to play third. But Girardi also knows there are 3 left-handers lurking for the Blue Jays in their bullpen. There's a strike to Ichiro.
Early enough in the game, maybe save Chavez for another moment.
Swing and a miss. Ichiro down on strikes for the second time today.
He just came right after Ichiro. Here it is, hit it, fouled off one. Ichiro trying to, if nothing else, pull the ball the right side, move Nix over, just beat him. Delabar 24 strikeouts in 13 and 2/3 innings now as a Blue Jay.
Former teammates. So this is why Joe was saving Chavez. He sends him up to pinch hit for Chris Stewart. And that will put Russell Martin behind the plate. But unless he makes a double switch, he has Chavez with this one at bat. He could always have Martin go into Nix's spot if he wants. Grounded to first. As Lynn tosses to Delabar and Nix moves to third.
Yeah, that's what the Yankees needed Ichiro to try to do. One batter too late. Pull the ball the right side. Bless the 2-out runner at third. Big 2-out hit now for Derek Jeter.
So Jeter, who was intentionally walked in the fourth inning to load the bases, now will get an opportunity to tie this game. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Nasty. 94, 95, then throws this little changeup. Almost looks like a split finger. Watch his bottom drop out of that pitch. It is a split. Tough pitch.
Kind of odd that Seattle would trade an arm like this. 2-1. Good play by Mathis.
Yeah, runner at third base. Boy, that's a tie ball game. He doesn't catch that. Tough, too, the combination, Michael. Good hard fastball. That split is generally a ball that you want in the dirt as a pitcher. If Mathis has to be ready for it.
There's a strike. Count 2-2.
Well, if Derek thought that ball might have been up. This is a slider. Let's see if this ball is high. Belt high. Came down just at the very end.
Two. Swing and a miss. That was in the dirt. Jeter chases. Nix's double is wasted. No runs a hit. One man left. We're going to the seventh. Jays up by 1. to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. Russell Martin is a new Yankee catcher. And Eric Chavez does stay in at third, so Martin's going to bat in Nix's slot in the lineup, which would be the 7th hole. So those are your changes. Cadillac scoreboard 5-4, Blue Jays lead. And CC deals to McCoy up and away 1-0. So we're in the 7th inning. Blue Jays have 9 hits, the Yankees have 5, and the Blue Jays lead 5-4. Chavez gets tested quickly. 1 out.
Good quick out for CC and the Yankees get through this inning. 2, 3, 4 for the Yankees. Over the bottom of 7th. It has been a struggle. Great ball strike ratio. 93 pitches getting to that 100 mark. Through a lot of strikes. There's a couple key moments in this game. Beginning in the 3rd for the Jays, and then that 2 spot that they picked up last inning in the 6th.
One and 0. Encarnacion with an RBI single in the 3rd. That's his only hit in the series. He's 1 for 11. First base umpire Mark Carlson said he went around. Count 1-1. Cody Epley still throwing.
CC get to that 100 pitch count. You get 3 up, 3 down. I just have to have Girardi consider a pitching change, potential pitching change with Escobar after Adam Lynn. You know, Michael, I think going into this series, we mentioned about all the injuries and Batista being out, but just watching the way they've pitched Edwin Encarnacion in a way to get him frustrated, pitched around him a lot and made him swing at basically balls. Which is why he has not hit this series. 1 for 11.
High pop-up. Ichiro is battling the sun with his bare hand and then makes the play for the 2nd out.
Later tonight, comedian Tracy Morgan sits down with Michael Kay for a very real GMC Presents Center Stage. See a side of the Bronx native you've never seen before as the 30 Rock star opens up about his childhood and how SNL changed his life. It's a new Center Stage tonight at 10 and again Friday after the postgame only on Yes.
You have to watch how Ichiro really battled the sun on this one. This is what he's looking up to. That little orb coming down. And he's going to get another try. This one's deeper. Long run. He leaps. And he made the play. What a play by Ichiro to end the 7th inning. Put a star next to that one. He got a great jump. He went airborne and he came down with the baseball. So the Blue Jays go down in order 1, 2, 3. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays lead 5-4. And as we digest what Ichiro just did, we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. As we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to
weekend. This weekend, the Orioles come into town. Time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 5-9-0 for the Toronto Blue Jays. 4-5-2 for the Yankees. Escobar a double, a home run, 3 ribbies for Toronto. Granderson a double, drove in 2, and a ground out drove in another, so 3 ribbies for him. Sabathia has allowed 5 earned runs, or 5 runs, 2 of them earned. No walks and 8 strikeouts, and it has not been an easy outing for him, but the team is certainly within striking distance. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Swisher, Cano, and Jones. Cadillac scoreboard 5-4 Toronto. High fly ball. McCoy in center. 1 pitch, 1 out.
It has not been easy for CC, Michael. I think while his slider is good and velocity, we talked, is a little off from his previous start, his first start in Cleveland, coming back from the disabled list with the sore elbow. But these are one of these games where if you just hope that your offense comes back and scratches a couple runs here and you can win the ball game. It's like you battled. It's an absolute battle afternoon.
You know, Al, the more I think about it, I think that what we showed on Delabar's elbow, that had to be a tattoo. There's no way that a surgeon would stitch him up like a Major League Baseball. Hot shot, fair ball, past the diving Lynn, kicks out toward the right fielder Sierra. Cano's going for 2. The throw, not in time. Cano with a double.
Well, after this little double, we'll maybe take a look, Michael, at a split figure that Robbie's out in front. This is a hot smash. Adam Lynn just whiffed it. I think the velocity just got right past him. Ball had a good carom kick for Sierra. I thought maybe he had a chance of throwing Robbie out. Robbie was able to put on the Jets and get a double. His 37th of the year. All right, we got to see what's happening here. Pete Walker. Bruce Walton, the pitching coach. His wife's having a baby.
That's got to be a tattoo. There's no way that surgery that was performed 3 years ago would be that raw and red. That's definitely baseball stitches tattooed on the scar. Look at it. You agree?
All right. I mean, it's red. Yeah, there's a scar. Maybe that's just the reminder of what he's been through.
Hey, whatever it is, they put him back together pretty well. Aaron Loop getting ready for the Blue Jays. Yankees electing to stay with Andrew Jones rather than send up Ibanez here. And once the pitching coach, well, once they made the trip to the mound, then you could have sent up Ibanez and been assured that he was pitching. We're going to bat against the right-handed Delabar. A little curious, right?
No, that's a good point. Once Pete Walker, the pitching coach, went out there, he'd have to throw at least one pitch to make the move.
Snap throw to second. Cano gets back.
Watch for that split finger. Delabar, Mathis has got to be ready. This is a chance for Andrew Jones to get some kind of fastball elevated.
Foul back.
Just a tick pulling off a little, Michael. That ball was 94, had plenty of giddy up, just high enough for Andrew not to be able to get on top of it.
Well, that's Andrew's money pitch. He can turn around a fastball with this one, as you said, a tick late, a little bit high. Now does Delabar throw something with a bend in it?
Now it seems like that put away pitch is that split finger. There it is. Good job by Mathis again with one out. The importance of keeping Robinson Cano at second base. Good job. Watch this here. This is split finger. Great shot right there. That ball is a 59-footer. Keeps the ball in front of him. Mathis absolutely knows the good split finger is going to do that, or somewhere down low.
Swing and a miss. He got him. So Andrew Jones down on strikes. So now John Farrell will bring in the lefty loop. There's Granderson due up.
There's that split. I'll tell you, very impressed with Steve Delabar. A split finger combination of a very good fastball. What a trade the Blue Jays made for Eric Thames from the Mariners.
Mariners have pitching. They need some hitting, so they made the deal. Delabar does a good job against the Yankees. Loop on to face Granderson. Brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Miguel Gonzalez is going to go for the O's. He's 5-3 with a 3.66. And Hiroki Kuroda, who really has done a nice job for the Yankees, 12-9, 2.98. And we're all over this. 6 p.m. is the BP show. 6:30 is the pregame show. 7:07 will be first pitch. A big series, Yankees O's at the stadium. Just like the old days,
right? I mean, when you
the
say
late 90s.
Big series, the O's, and then seeing the Oakland A's up top on the wild card.
Yankees trying to tie this one. They're down 5-4. It'll be Granderson against Aaron Loop. Granderson already with 3 RBIs on the day. And he'll take a strike. The numbers on Loop: just 1 walk, 14 strikeouts.
Well, it's big side one and lefty. Just throws across his body. Tough for left-handers to stay in there.
Another strike.
I know it's been a dismal year for the Blue Jays, mostly because of the injuries. They started out a good ball club, winning a lot of games. Their bullpen has been very strong.
The 0-2. Pop foul. And out of play. Lefties hit just 154 against Luke. Grounded to first. Lynn flips to Loop, and that will do it. So Loop comes on to do the job, and they strand Cano at second. We're going to the 8th. Escobar will lead off. Like cold, hard blast out.
Well, it is. I'll tell you what, Yunel Escobar gets a slider off of CC, hits a 2-run homer, making this a 5-4 ball game. CC not happy with that, having the lead and then relinquishing it. An 8th home run on the year for Yunel Escobar.
Hyundai scoreboard 5-4, Blue Jays lead. And Derek Lowe comes on in relief of CC Sabathia. And there's a strike to Escobar. So Sabathia's defense didn't help him. Only 2 of the runs earned. Yankees made a couple of errors. And the error in the 3rd inning helped lead to those 3 runs. You're seeing Lowe pitch more high leverage innings with the Yankees as they're staying away from Java in those situations. Hot shot past the diving Eric Chavez and kicks out to Ichiro. The throw to second is knocked away from Cano on a double for Escobar. Big day for Escobar. He's 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a home run.
Hot smash past Chavez, a sinker from Derek Lowe. The carom in left field. Watch this ball, the reaction past Eric Chavez. It just kicks perfectly to Ichiro. Ichiro still has a terrific arm. Throws a bullet just a little bit inside the line. Robinson Cano trying to catch it and do the swipe tag, wasn't able to hold on to it.
And a bunt from Kelly Johnson, and it's going to be a base hit as it gets past Lowe.
It was just bunted hard enough. Let's take a look here. When you're a pitcher and you don't square up to home plate, it almost looked like there was a bit of an element of surprise by Derek Lowe. The ball is bunted pretty hard. Now, as a right-handed pitcher, he turns slightly toward the first base line, not enabling him to square up. Clearly his ball, should have fielded it. I'm sure more by accident than design. Kelly Johnson gets a base hit out of it.
Boone Logan is up in the Yankee bullpen. And Colby Rasmus is going to pinch hit for Sierra.
There, that first night, Blue Jays came in the top of the ninth inning. Rafael Soriano chance to save the game. A 3-run homer. Colby Rasmus, his 21st on season. Prior to that hit, he had been in a really bad slump.
Well, the Yankees bringing the infield in. They can't afford to give up another run. They're down 5-4. But then you always run the risk of letting it become a big inning if one squeaks through the drawn and infield.
Yeah, you gotta play to preserve the out. It's just part of the strategy. Like, Girardi coming out here.
Well, they had him throw to first base a couple of times just so Boone Logan could get more work in the bullpen. So they'll call on Logan to face the pinch hitter Rasmus. So Derek Lowe comes in and gives up a double and a bunt single, and Boone Logan is next. The Nets basketball is here on Yes. With a new look, a new arena, and a new roster, SI.com says the Nets may have become the best team in the NBA's biggest city. And the Times says New York basketball may never be the same. Get ready for Brooklyn Nets basketball coming this fall on Yes. Boone Logan comes on to face the pinch hitter Rasmus. Yankees are down 5-4 in the top of the 8th inning. Numbers on Logan are good. 55 strikeouts in 43 and 2/3 innings. 3.92 ERA and a 5-2 record. They've used him a lot, and he's responded. The main lefty in the bullpen. And let's see how he does here against Rasmus.
Well, right away, lefty on lefty. Ground ball, you're thinking that Yankees right here, infield in. It's going to be a one batter appearance from Boone Logan. Looks like Cody Epley ready for the right-hander.
There's a strike. Starts him off with a fastball.
Rasmus this year, 190 batting average against lefties.
Count 1-1. He is up there. And you know, if he hit that ball and he was out of the batter's box, he's out. So his initial move with his back foot was toward home plate. Kind of a wave at that pitch, 1-2.
Nasty. That's the combination of what Boone Logan does so well is use his fastball, and it's a good fastball. Enough for the left-hander to respect and honor it, and he's got that nice depth on that slider. After that the way it looked, Brandon Lyon ready in the Blue Jay bullpen. See if he comes back again with that slider.
Escobar's at third. Johnson's at first. Blue Jays lead 5-4. Top of the 8th inning. Held off that one, 2-2. Epley's been up 3 times today. And now the count 3-2.
Well, Michael, most managers use the rule of thumb. You get a guy up 3 times. If he doesn't get in the game, he's done. Epley's getting ready for Mathis, I'm sure.
They have to switch hitting Omar Vizquel on the bench. That's the only guy that could hit from the left side. Swing and a miss. Rasmus goes down on strikes.
Went right back to the slider, and it was a good one. Colby Rasmus could not lay off. It was a ball. Strike him out.
So Girardi will now mix and match. He's going to call on Epley. It'll be Epley against Mathis with runners on first and third and 1 out. Yankees trail by 1. Chris Sheeran wraps up today's series finale here from the Bronx. Plus, Jack Curry has a reaction from the clubhouse. And Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame. Only on Yes. Cody Epley, his 45th game. He's been quite a find for the Yankees.
Good year, 3.34. I'll tell you, you have specialty guys like a Boone Logan, Cody Epley, tough, unorthodox delivery, across his body, good sink, nice changeup combination. He's done a good job. You get Joe Girardi being able to use more than one or two go-to guys in tight ball games. It just keeps everybody fresh. Kind of know your role and get adequate rest. Do the job when you get called upon.
So first and third. Mathis against Epley. Sabathia started 1-7, and in this inning alone, it's Lowe, Logan, and now Epley. They had the safety squeeze on, and it worked to perfection. Mathis is thrown out, and it's 6-4 Toronto. Wasn't a suicide. They waited till the bunt was down, and then Escobar broke.
That's right, Michael. Safe bet. You get a guy who can handle the ball. You have Epley on the mound that has sinker. Pretty good runner in Escobar. Put it down. Once Escobar sees this is a ball that's put in play on the ground, he's going on contact. It's a good play. A little easier for John Farrell and the Blue Jays to make a decision like this when you're up by a run. Don't run yourself into an out and potential loss. The fact that they have this extra run that's pushed across. Big extra run in the 8th inning.
Here's Echeverria. You want to know? Farrell likes the bunt. With John McDonald, another safety squeeze. The runner doesn't break until the bunt is put down. And McDonald did it beautifully, and this time Mathis did it beautifully.
And it all has to line up too. You got to get a guy on the mound that's not a strikeout guy. He puts in play Epley, sinker ball, somebody who can handle the bat. Mathis did a nice job, good on contact. For Yunel Escobar to read it.
Popped up. Swisher makes the play for the final out of the inning. But the Blue Jays score a run on 2 hits. 1 man left. We'll go into the bottom of the 8th, and Pierce will lead it off. 951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Here are today's candidates: Curtis Granderson, Yunel Escobar, Adam Lynn, and Edwin Encarnacion. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Well, the Yankees have to come back in this one. They're down by 2 runs. Colby Rasmus takes over in center field. And Mike McCoy moves from center to right. Remember, Rasmus pinch hit for Sierra. And the new pitcher is Brandon Lyon. So with the right-hander Lyon on, Joe Girardi will counter by pinch hitting Ibanez for Steve Pearce. Pitch outside. Hyundai scoreboard 6-4 Toronto. Count 1-1.
Another good pickup by the Blue Jays. Veteran reliever Brandon Lyon. Their bullpen, Michael, isn't it, during this series? They've done a nice job. Casey Jansen, the closers, gave up the home run the first night with Derek Jeter. For the most part, these guys come at you. Good lefty-righty combination for John Farrell.
Lined into deep right center field. Colby Rasmus is going to have to play that off the wall. And Ibanez with a pinch hit double to start off the bottom of the 8th.
Well, you get all the hitting you can down in the cage underneath the Yankee Stadium here near the dugout. Gets a sinker, which is Brandon Lyon's forte, sinker split. Good swing. Colby Rasmus gets on his horse. Once it stays through the zone, middle, sinker down and away. Productive hits. Ibanez, 75 hits, he's driven in 51. Timely hits. See if the Yankees can do anything with that leadoff double.
Here's Russell Martin, his first at bat. Count 0-1. .195 for Russell, 14 homers and 35 ribbies. It shows you that Martin's still working his walks, though, Al, because his on-base percentage is 104 points higher than his batting average. He's at 299 on-base percentage, and that's not great, but when you're hitting 195, at least you are getting on without picking up hits.
Well, you're right, Michael. He's a better hitter than 195. Hasn't shown it up to this point this year. 195, it is what it is. Just looks to me he's just caught between late on the fastball, that last pitch, that curveball, pulling off a little. And that's the evil part of baseball. Just that batting average. You know, you see a guy that historically they know where their number should be, and you look up there and you see 195, you press, and all of a sudden you look up, you're in an 0-2 count, you miss your pitch, and it spirals. And I think that's what happens when you see guys that get in prolonged slumps. And there isn't anything wrong with them physically.
Still 1-2.
And I really take the same comparison, Michael, as a pitcher when you're struggling and stuff-wise. We saw it with Ricky Romero last night. I asked him, I said, really? I mean, you were that good early on, and then 11 starts in a row, 0-10 with an ERA almost 8, and he couldn't explain it. He's like, I know, I felt fine. He said, there's nothing wrong with your arm. No. And he pitched a good ball game last night. Phil Hughes pitched better. It becomes mental.
count 2-2 on Martin.
And that's why the special players that do it year in, year out and stay away from big slumps are the most mentally tough baseball players. Don't allow that exterior distraction to come into this moment right here.
Count 2-2 again. Runner at second, bottom of the 8th inning, nobody out. Yankees trail 6-4. This is the rubber game of this 3-game set. Grounded off the bag. Yankees catch a break, and it bounds into left field. Ibanez rounds third. He will score. Russell Martin goes to second with a gift double, and the Yankees have pulled to within 6-5.
Well, Russell Martin, I want to say he deserved it. He had some hard line drive outs during this series early in the first 2 games. Ball hitting directly on the bag. One of those, that's baseball. Well, then here it is right here. A little 3-hopper. Hits the inside corner of the bag. Echeverria thought he had a shot at it. Certainly didn't get a chance to get in front of the bag there. Double for Russell Martin. 14th on the year. And more importantly, gets 1 run closer for the Yankees tying this ball game.
Now you've got Ichiro, you've got first base open, you've got John Farrell on the mound as infielders come in with him as they talk things over. If you're the Yankees, do you have Ichiro bunt to move Russell Martin to third?
I mean, we think of Ichiro, in his day. Here's a guy who could hit the ball wherever he felt like it, to give up and out. But you got the runner at second base, and opportunity for pushing an easy sack bunt for him to get to third base and any kind of long fly ball. You got a top ball game. I got to believe so.
Yankees made sure because Rob Thompson went down to talk to Suzuki, and then all the way from second, Russell Martin came to talk to Rob Thompson, so they know exactly what they're going to do. No missed signs here. The Blue Jays are in at the corners. And it's bunted, foul.
Ichiro is good for bunt singles during the year. Certainly when he had the better speed as a younger man. The difference between a bunting for a hit and sacrificing, squaring, making sure the barrel is between the lines, meaning the barrel is out in front of the plate, and you catch the baseball. Watch here, I think his barrel ended up being, the angle was just too far back, and the barrel being in foul territory. That's the end result.
Yankees had the same situation in the 6th inning, and they did not bunt, and Ichiro struck out. But this time he did try to bunt. Let's see if it's still on. And he bunts that foul. Did not do a good job with that. That got a piece of Mathis so quickly. Ichiro is down 0-2.
Yeah, that's a cutter from Brandon Lyon just keeps coming in. Ichiro trying to bunt the ball that almost hit him. Let's see how far this ball cuts in. At that point, trying to really pull the bat back, and he didn't. He pulled the ball barrel down to try to bunt it. Tough pitch to bunt. Not a good play.
Yankees 3 for 14 today with runners in scoring position. They've left 7 men on base. The runner at second is the tying run in this game. Yankees are down 6-5. Yankees led 2-0. They led 4-3. But then the Blue Jays took a 5-4 lead. A run in the 8th made it 6-4. Now the Yankees have answered back with a run here in the bottom of the inning and a runner on second, nobody out. Blue Jays back up, expecting Ichiro to swing away. And he lost that one into shallow center. Rasmus coming on and dives and makes the play for the first out. So an unproductive at bat for Ichiro Suzuki. Couldn't get the bunt down, couldn't pull the ball, couldn't hit it deep enough to move Martin to third.
Yeah, you said it, Michael. And Colby Rasmus came a long way here. Just had too much airtime for Ichiro and the Yankees. Nice play by Rasmus. Tracks it, sees it all the way. That curveball got him out in front. Ichiro trying to, if there is a productive out, as you said, ground ball to the right side, move the runner up. Just didn't do it.
A dramatic one-out symbol for Colby Rasmus. Here's Eric Chavez. He pinch hit in the 6th inning and grounded out to first. And a breaking ball strike. Inside, 1-1. Chavez, a .315 hitter against righties and .148 against lefties. Overall, .294. Rafael Soriano up for the Yankees. This would be his 4th straight day of work. The other way, foul.
Well, with that off day tomorrow, I think that Joe Girardi before the game talking to the media, seeing as to whether Soriano was okay. He said, you know, based on what he tells me.
One-two. Gets away from Mathis, keeps it in front of him, and keeps Martin at second.
Mathis has done a nice job today. There has been at least 6 or 7 balls that he's kept in front of him that potentially in similar situation with less than 2 outs, keeping that ball in front of him, not enabling the runner at second base to advance. I've seen at least 5 or 6.
Two-two. 3-2. Couple of minutes, shadows are going to come into play as we're approaching 4:15. And home plate not quite in the shade, but it will be shortly. Now there's just dots from the lights over the grandstand. 3-2. Driven out to left field. Rajay Davis toward the line, and he runs out of room as the ball's in the seats.
Tough outfield in left field as the sun's going down here in the Bronx. All off speed, Brandon Lyon. Tarek Chavez. Just in this situation here for Eric Chavez is just to not do a whole lot. Try not to. Think middle of the field. If you're going to swing at it, make sure it's a strike. Don't do him any favors.
Swing and a miss. 2-away.
That was just a dose of slider, slider, slider. I got 8 of them. He took a little bit off on that one. That was a good one. You say, well, that ended up in the dirt, but boy, that had about a 2-foot break. Tough pitch. Big out.
Here's Jeter.
Jeter, most history against Brandon Lyon, 2 for 12, 167 batting average against.
Pitch outside to Jeter. Jeter started with an inning, first inning single. He scored a run, then lined out to short in the third, was intentionally walked to load the bases in the fourth, and struck out with a runner on third and 2 men out in the sixth. Big spot for the captain. And as the Yankees down by 1, the tying run is at second base. Count 2-0.
Jeter keeps looking down to third base.
I think he's got an easy bunt single there.
Easy bunt single. That's what Berea is saying. Go ahead. You want a single down here?
I would take it. You've got Swisher on deck, who's really done a great job.
And you also have the situation where if he puts in his pocket, possibly Russell getting to third base.
Now 3-0.
Pitching around him here. Saying, here, Derek, you want to hit my pitch? I'll keep throwing it off the plate. You're hot as a firecracker. I'm not going to lay a cookie in for you.
There's a strike. Count 3-1. And the pitch. Breaking ball strike. So he's gone from 3-0 to 3-2.
Goes to the front door. This is by accident. He wants this curveball to be away, but actually throws at Derek's front hip. It's a give-up pitch. Strike.
And the 3-2. Spoiled that one. Still 3-2. Martin is at second. Yankees down 6-5. Now Lyon wants to talk with Mathis.
Big pitch. Obviously, Yanks down by 1. Blue Jays have a shot here. 2 outs. Pass it off to the closer. Brandon Lyon wants to make sure. And when you have multiple pitches now that Russell Martin, the catcher in his own right, could also be change the sequence, seeing the same pitches, or maybe even talk about if there's a foul ball here, I'll go to this pitch after the next.
Getting the bullpen busy. Swing and a foul ball. Stays alive. Long day for Jeff Mathis behind the plate. He's done a good job, but could not hold on to that one. And then it got him on the side of the leg.
Well, he's done a great job today, Michael. One ball hit off the inside part of his right thigh. Getting beat up.
The closer, Casey Janssen, getting ready. High fly ball, right center. McCoy with the call on the catch, and that will do it. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left. We're going to the 9th. Traffic building up on the Deegan. They're listening to John and Susan. You're watching Yes. Game another time around. If you missed any of the big hits and great plays, just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. And it's brought to you by our good friends at Verizon Fios. Cody Epley came on to get the final 2 outs of the 8th. And right now that safety squeeze, Al, is the difference in the game. A beautiful safety squeeze laid down by Jeff Mathis that made it 6-4. Yankees came back with a run in the bottom of the inning, but again, strand a runner in scoring position. Then a runner at second, nobody out, they couldn't get him in. So that is the difference right now, 6-5.
The small ball aspect of this series. I mean, you look back to last night's game, similar. Yankees moving a runner and scoring on a sac fly. That could be the difference in this ball game.
Rajai Davis takes strike. The shadows now are a factor. The batters are in the shade. The pitcher is in the sun. Rajai Davis is 1 for 4. Count 1-1.
In case this wasn't so obvious, it's such an advantage to the pitcher. Header seeing the white of the ball, and then right in front of home plate, all of a sudden it becomes a dark ball. Not easy.
In these situations, Al, as a pitcher, did you lean toward throwing more breaking balls or fastballs to take advantage of the shade?
You know what? I think I spoke with enough hitters. They said, you know, somebody with a good live fastball, it's tough to pick up. And now at the very last, this isn't so bad, but in a few more minutes here, that shade starts going out in front of the pitcher's mouth.
Chop toward third. Chavez waits for the better hop and gets Davis for the first out.
I would think a power breaking ball is harder because, one, you can't pick up the spin, especially a slider. Slow curveball, you have more reaction time. But if somebody throwing, you know, with plus velocity, with a little bit of movement, it's hard. And I just only haven't experienced some of the stadiums during batting practice and night games. That's what you kind of visualize. And you have a BP throwing just whatever, 60 miles an hour. It's hard to pick up some places.
Here's Mike McCoy. Swing and a miss. You want to look ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning? You've got Swisher, Cano, and Andrew Jones coming up. If anybody gets on, Curtis Granderson. Now, we've given you the stat, and to me, it's a startling stat. The Yankees are the only team in the major leagues that have not won a game when they're trailing after 8 innings. So they'll try to buck that trend. 1-2.
Wow. Yeah. Here, take a look at Cody Epley in the sun, see the seams, and then right about there, late, boom, darkness. Yeah, that is something for the Yankees, huh? After 8 innings trailing.
No wins. Backing up is Chavez, and the ball eats him up and then trickles into left field. McCoy makes a big turn. He's going to second, and he'll make it. Yankees have not played a clean game in the field at all. That is probably going to be their 3rd error.
Well, this eats up Chavez, a Gold Glove in his own right. Backed up, and as soon as he backs up, you might as well put it in your pocket. McCoy right out of the box, scooting, sees this ball kick away. There was no hesitation on Mike McCoy's part. Watch here, as soon as he backs up, was in somewhat no man's land. It ate him up, and then his aggressiveness got him to second base. Now in scoring position.
It is an E5. So by taking second, though, he takes the bat out of the hands of Edwin Encarnacion. They will walk him.
Well, he was only 1 for 14 for the series, or did not have a good series, and line up the double play and put in the hands of Adam Lynn.
Now, if you want the exact stat, trailing after 8 innings this year, the Yankees are 0-46. Last year wasn't much better, 2 for 50 or 2-50. But the thing that jumps out, they're the only team in the big leagues that have never come back from a deficit after 8 innings. So they'll try to do that in the bottom of the 9th. But they're hoping that it's just a 1-run deficit as they maneuver here and intentionally walk Encarnacion. And with the lefty Lynn due up, Girardi is going to go to the bullpen, and he's going to bring in Clay Rapata. So Rapata will be the Yankees' 5th pitcher. He comes in, runners on first and second, 1 man out. As the Yankees host the Orioles in a crucial 3-game set here at the stadium. Coverage will start at 6 with Audi batting practice today. And then the Tri-State Ford pregame at 6:30. Then Ken Singleton will join me right here in the booth. The first pitch at about 7:07. All of it only on Yes. So Adam Lind against Clay Rapata. And that's where the American League East is at this point. Orioles are just 3 games back in the loss column. And if the Yankees don't win this one, that tightens up. And the Orioles play tonight. Those are Rapata's numbers. He's done a nice job for the Yanks. And a strike to Adam Lind.
Clay Rapata came on, same role first night against the Blue Jays here Monday. Struck out Adam Lind.
Now with Escobar due up next, the Yankees will go to the bullpen again. They will not let Rapata face Escobar. Lefty's hitting 195 against Rapata. Righty's hit 258 against him. The 0-1. Missed outside. Kind of a wave through that one. The count 1-2.
Nasty slider, Michael. Good luxury job of Chamberlain warming up. Looks like he's going to get in here ready for Escobar. The luxury of having two quality left-handed relievers. You're not having to save that one bullet for that key lefty. I think the whole plate umpire might have missed that one. Chris Conroy, that looked like a pretty good pitch. See here, slider. Russell Martin setting up away. Clay Rapata coming from the first base side. Yeah, a good call.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch popped up and out of play. Crowd of 46,010 here at the stadium today, a Wednesday matinee. Long game. A lot of them have already departed. Game about 3.5 hours in length, give or take a couple minutes. The 2-2 missed outside, and the count is 3-2. Escobar's on deck.
Little inside move, seeing if there was any movement coming on these Blue Jay hitters or base runners.
Runners go, and a walk to Lynn, and that'll load the bases. How's this for a rally? E5, an intentional walk, and a walk. And now Joe Girardi's going to do something he really doesn't want to do. He's bringing in Jabba Chamberlain in a big situation. He had said earlier this week he wanted to keep it to low leverage. This is not that. Chicago. This is August 29th. He's not pitched well since he came off the DL. And Joe Girardi has said it's a product of Tommy John surgery. The last thing that comes back is your command. And he doesn't have great command of his pitches. He's throwing hard. but he's not throwing with the precision that he needs. And Joe said after that game in Chicago, I'm going to try to keep him out of big situations. He said, but it's hard because we play a lot of close games. Well, this is a really big situation. Yankees really don't want to lose the series to a team like the Blue Jays that stumbled in here, almost waiting for the end of the year, and they're on the verge of taking 2 out of 3 from the Yanks. So any chance you have in the bottom of the 9th inning, Al, you've got to hold him right here. This is a big situation for this kid.
Big situation. See how Jabba handles it. And I know what Joe Girardi's saying. If you're that pitcher and you're struggling, we just showed the numbers, the 15 hits in 6 2/3. He's given up a lot of hits. I know his velocity's back. There's an element of him not having the touch or the feel of his pitches. But yeah, we're down. The Yankees are down to Robertson and Soriano in their bullpen. And this happens to be a high leveraged inning or pitches because of the circumstance, but it is what it is.
And I really believe, Al, they're down to Soriano because they never use Robertson 4 days in a row.
So now you're down to your closer.
Right. And then if they tie the game in the 9th inning and it's extra innings, you got some issues because you can't go that long with Jabba. But they want to get to that spot. The pitch to Escobar is that slider that he throws a lot, and it's a strike. Escobar's had a big day. He's 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a home run. Bases loaded. Blue Jays trying to pad the lead here at the top of the 9th. Martin blocks the ball.
Get ready, Russell Martin. You get this slider down the dirt. As you said, Michael, Jabba likes that pitch. Got a runner at third base, 90 feet away.
The 1-1. Up and in, 2-1. 95 miles an hour, so the velocity is certainly there.
Well, but the command. Now that ball, Russell Martin set up away. He missed by at least 3 feet.
Yep.
And that's usually the indicator for me has always been guys will find the way to get your velocity where you think you need it to be, but it's the command in the field.
Slider is fouled back. 2-2.
And what I mean by you'll find a way between your legs and your arm and what you're trying to do with your body to find the arm speed to throw with your greatest velocity, but you compensate on release point.
McCoy at third, Encarnacion at second, Lind is at first. The 2-2. Looped into right field. Jones took a step back, dives, and it gets away. And the runners will go. McCoy scores. Encarnacion scores. Moving to third is Lind. Another double for Escobar. And now it's 8-5 Blue Jays.
Well, that slight hesitation by Andrew Jones. This ball is up in the zone. Higher than high. You see where Russell Martin's catching. This is just an emergency hack. Gets the barrel on the ball. Now Andrew Jones kind of hesitating. Let's see if he bends his wrist back slightly. It looked like it was a little bothersome by it on the Yesmo here. Great shot. Looked like he had in his glove, and then the peel of the back of the webbing knocked the ball out of his glove.
Here's Kelly Johnson with the infield in. And that gets a piece of Martin, and the count is 0-1. Now you could say that wasn't hit hard, but you could also say, again, Jabba missed his location by a lot. 4-hit game for Escobar, 3 doubles and a home run. And he has a 7-game hitting streak. And now Russell Martin will go out and talk with Jabba.
Yeah, every catcher, obviously they got a feel for your pitches and what Russell Martin thinks would work for Jabba, and you absolutely got to be on the same page. Sometimes there's not a clear communication.
And that clips Johnson, so he'll take first, and that will reload the bases. Kind of a helpless feeling for Girardi. Again, he said on Monday, I don't want to use Job in these situations, but his bullpen being what it is, kind of forced into it.
Well, you know, and Jobin knows that, and it's really out of protection of Jobin for a guy who's shown arm strength to get back to the big leagues, and your command is off. But really, Michael, it was a fly ball to right.
But he missed his location.
Did miss his location, as many pitchers do. Yeah, and that's part of it. So it turns out to be, you know, it wasn't a hot smash after the wall. But I'm saying it in a sense when you know you're struggling, you know, you look for a little help.
Yep. Popped up. Russell Martin puts it away for the second out as the runners hold.
You know, it's like the proverbial the batter who's struggling and, you know, just can't buy a hit. He has like a swinging broken bat single, and it just gets him, you know, off the schneid, and all of a sudden, you know, he has a heck of a day, or, you know, 3 or 4 days of getting back into it. You know, and I think with Jabba, it's going to be some time for him to get his mechanics right, to have the consistent release point. It's not a lack of stuff.
Here's Jeff Mathis. Pop foul and out of play. Difference in the game, the Jays are 6 for 13 with runners in scoring position. The Yankees 3 for 17. There's a good fastball, 96 miles an hour. It's just a matter of him getting his location back, and he's going to be a useful pitcher for them. The 0-2. 1-2.
You know, and it's a matter of just watching Jabba here. It's a matter of, here's a guy who has always been basically able to blow people away. You know, he first came on the scene, he was close to 100 miles an hour. And those type of pitchers, they've never really been mindful of like hitting the glove or hitting the spots all the time. You turn, rocket fire, and you let it fly.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the slider. So Jabba allows the 2 runs because Andrew Jones couldn't handle that ball in right field. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? We go to the bottom of the 9th. The best from a season of fun-filled adventures with your favorite Bronx Bombers. It's the season finale of Yankees on Deck today after the postgame only on Yes. Omar Vizquel the veteran in his final season without a mask and without a helmet, warming up. Casey Janssen. And then Jeff Mathis says, I'll take over. Probably heading to the Hall of Fame. Right now he's heading to the dugout to watch the bottom of the ninth. Casey Janssen will try to pick up his 17th save.
Casey Janssen came on to save the first night here, Monday night, when Derek Jeter hit a home run to tie the ball game up. Eventual Blue Jay win. Yankees got their work cut out. Janssen, hard moving, sinking fastball.
And Nick Swisher will take high. Swisher's walked twice today, scored twice, struck out and flied out to center. Hot shot to first, knocked Lynn down, but he stays with it to get the out.
Hard smash. Adam Lynn gets off to the side, just almost protected himself. Gets a good hop, puts himself in position to not get the in-between hop. That ball was hit hard by Nick Swisher. Good play.
So here's Robinson Cano. Cano is 1 for 4. And a fastball strike from Jansen. Trying to save this game for Jay Happ. And CC Sabathia would take the loss for the Yankees. Yankees have played sloppy baseball today with 3 errors. Count 0-2. Blue Jays have not won a series since July 27th through the 29th against Detroit. They have lost 6 straight series. They're 4-16 during that time, and they've lost 7 of the last 8 series. Cano just overpowered by a couple of 91-mile-an-hour fastballs from Jansen. And if you want more numbers that illustrate the ineptitude, you'll see this pitch moving up and away. They've lost 8 of 9. This is not series, this is games, the Blue Jays. 8 of 9, 11 of 13, 16 of 22, and 22 of 28. This is not a team that the Yankees should lose a series to. Here's Andrew Jones. 1-0.
No, there's a reason why they're in last place. A lot of injuries. They're 17.5 games back from the Yankees. At phase 2, left-handed pitchers, Michael. Ricky Romero, who had been struggling, who's a nice major league pitcher, was on his game last night. Luckily for the Yankees, Phil Hughes was too. CC was not on today. Jay Happ pitched a good ball game. Got some key outs when he needed to. But these are games, there's no doubt about it. When you're facing Toronto and the teams that are at the bottom of the division, you got to win them. You got to get on a roll. You got to have the clubhouse and the lineup and the dugout feel good about what they're doing.
Well, what's going to happen is that they'll go 3-3 against 2 of the dregs of the American League, the Indians and the Jays, and now they go up in class. 9 straight. You have 3 against the O's, 3 against Tampa Bay in St. Pete, and 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore. So 9 games against tough competition as Andrew Jones pops that one up. Escobar, the hero of this game, makes the play, and the Yankees lose this one 8-5, and they lose this series 2-1. And they'll have an off day to think about it, as they have not played good baseball. They are 3-6 in their last 9 games. So Jansen picks up the save this time, and you have to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. 8-12-0 for the Blue Jays, 5-8-3 for the Yankees. We'll be back and give out an award and wrap things up.